Round one. Fight!
All right, hey guys, welcome to Tier Ranker Fight. So I am one of your hosts, Jordan, movie hero Anderson, coming at you, and we got a pretty
Chris.
cool. Yeah, we got Chris. These are other normal co-hosts on Tier Ranker Fight. So yeah, we got a pretty cool group coming at you today. But yeah, how you doing, Chris?
Doing good, man. I'm excited to duke it out about movie remakes.
Yeah,
whether
so
they suck or whether they are actually really, really good.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
So I guess do we want to go around since you guys are all new guests on the show?
Yeah, we'll kind of start maybe with Carl. How you doing, Carl?
Hey there. I'm Carl. I'm new to all this and coming from Ireland.
Awesome.
Excited to talk about all these films.
Awesome.
Hey guys. I love this kind of stuff. I do a lot of writing and I end up watching a lot of remakes, and I didn't realize how many remakes there actually have been.
Yeah.
Right.
South Florida, relatively new to the space, but long-time watcher of a bunch of different YouTube shows. So I'm excited to be part of this.
Awesome.
Very nice. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, but so usually we just either pull people for that are like friends, family, acquaintances of either me or Chris, or we just pull people from the Schmodown community space because in my mind I think the Schmodown community's got one of the best communities on the internet. So it's a pretty cool place to get a lot of pretty fun guests that way. So, but yeah,
absolutely.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up the tier list here. Let's see, I'm always a little slow at pulling this up here, but let's see.
It's all right.
Should be popping up here. There we go. All right. So I'm going to kind of give everyone a little look. So basically how it works for anyone who hasn't been a part of this before, you have S for superior, and then basically you just move on down the line. So we got a lot of movies to rank. So, and you'll see, we're going to see how far we can get in roughly about 2 hours. I mean, it may go over a little bit possibly, and then we might end up splitting this into a two-parter. Actually, most likely we'll probably split it up into a two-parter, just because if you see how many, just the sheer amount of movie remakes that exist. We're covering mostly movie remakes. We got a few reboots on here, and then there's a few that are remakes of some TV shows on here also. So you'll kind of just see it, just kind of run the gamut. So yeah. And for anyone who might be watching, if you jump into the comment section, you can throw in your thoughts as well, and we might take them into consideration. So, but yeah. So usually I just kind of start from the top and kind of just go across. But I mean, after a little while, if you see one that really stands out to you that you want to do, you can just do like a call out and call something out that you want to rank. So, but. And we have all types of different movies. We have the good ones. We have the bad ones. We have everywhere in between. So I think I want to start off with one that's a relatively a good one that I think most people probably do like. So just to kind of kick it off, I'm going to start with Titanic. So where would you guys rank Titanic all time? And yes, it is a remake. I'm not sure when the first Titanic came out. I thought it was like 20s or 30s, but I'm not 100%.
There have been quite a few movies done about Titanic, but this by far is definitely the biggest one. And, it takes that classic historical story and adds the fictional element, the Jack and Rose to it. But by far, if we're looking at this as a remake, if we look at the originals, and we're looking at remakes, how is it a remake?
Exactly.
This by far has to either be A or S. If not S, I want to say S instinctively, but there are parts of it that I go, I don't know, even now, and I'm a little iffy about it.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's at least very high A.
The movie's fun. Of course, everyone wants to trash on kind of the love story, especially at the end, when it's like, hang on, we'll never let go. But being a fan of the Titanic and having gone to Vegas and saw the amazing Titanic exhibit and how powerful that was, and eventually I want to go to Ireland and see the first museum there, where the Titanic came from.
Nice,
that would be a bucket list item for me for sure. But it's so, you've ever been to the museum, it sort of takes you from you see sort of how the have-nots, the ones in tiered stage, up to the rich and the wealthy live. I think this movie does a really good job of showing all parts of that. Because you got Jack, who is kind of this, let's just say he's kind of in steerage. I don't think he's definitely wealthy. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, and a little bit of a hot take for me. I was just going to say, just real quick, is that I actually don't like Titanic. I'm one of the.
I'm 100% with you. I hate Titanic.
I think
Titanic. I hate it with passion. I get technically it's fantastic. Visually, the special effects are bar none. It's James Cameron. We don't expect anything less. But the love story in this, I find so melodramatic. I think that's the part of it.
I think that's the part why that's the part of it that makes me not say it's an S. Because from a historical perspective, this film is amazing. It's by far the most accurate telling of the story of the Titanic that we've ever had. Cameron himself, if you didn't know, went down on multiple expeditions to research the Titanic, and actually is one of the foremost authorities on the Titanic. So the fact that he's made this film, he's actually gone down there, seen it. I love the accuracy to this, the details that he puts in here between costuming and where people are and stories and all of this that's going on, not to mention the real life figures, John Jacob Astor and Molly Brown and all these real people. This is a fabulous film, but I agree with you. The fault comes in the romance. And it's not a terrible romance. It's just not the most believable one.
Yeah.
Right.
And my problem is I get all that and I agree with you on those points. My problem is the love story takes so much of the story and the historical stuff is just kind of on the periphery. If the historical stuff was more of a focus, it was not like a C or a D plot, I would probably be with you. But it's the love story takes 90% of the story, or 70 to 80% of it.
Well, I think the problem that we face is that if James Cameron had just given us this historical tale of the Titanic, visually, again, it probably would have been just as beautiful. I don't know if people would have followed it. I mean, there are stories of teenage girls who went back to watch this film 8-9 times, hoping each time Jack wouldn't die.
Right, exactly.
That love story, whether we like it or not, it's kind of that central focus of humanity with it.
I disagree with you. I totally 100% disagree with you. There's Molly Brown. She has a fascinating historical story. You have the architect that's played by, the guy from who played part of Firestorm. I'm blanking on his name.
I know who you're talking about.
But he making the unsinkable ship. That's a fascinating part.
Right.
That could have taken it. You could have had it wouldn't have been 3 hours, but you would have had a solid 2-hour stories with like Molly Brown and the architect of the Titanic, and it would have been solid and would have just been as good as it's fascinating. I disagree with that. I wholeheartedly.
I have to say, this is one that I haven't seen in a good couple of years, but I do remember seeing it, and I loved it every time I watched it. I think in the terms of ranking it, we have to take into consideration that for a long time, it was the highest grossing film of all time. It has to.
That was going to be ties the record for the most Oscar wins.
Yeah, it has to be up near the top. It's undisputable to be up there. It's either S or A. I don't think.
I think it's B.
Really.
I think it's.
And whenever you hear that music, you instantly think
Titanic.
It's
fucking Titanic.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, French. I like to cuss a lot, and I'll probably try to not do it as much. But it's just like I'm even getting chills saying. Sure, you got that whole fun moment where you're sort of on the tier of the ship where they're holding on to one another. You know, it's been parodied, but it's been parodied for a reason. My Family Guy.
I just think how many. It's too melodramatic.
Think how many memes there would be now if this was released today. I'm King of the World would be everywhere.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
everywhere.
I don't know if that's a solid enough argument. To me, high.
Sorry, we keep talking over you, JT.
Yeah. Well, for me, I don't really love it just because I'm kind of the same way. I don't really like the love story at all, but I mean I can see why it was the highest grossing film for so long. I can understand why people love it and why it won so many awards. And so I mean I'd be willing to give it an A. I think that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I guess I'm in the minority. I would put it at B, but
Yeah.
But that's just me. I get why people like it. I would have put it at B, but majority rules.
Yeah.
So that's with it being the highest grossing film forever, with it having such an incredible music score, which it's obviously the love story, as we've talked about, is really cheesy, just overly melodramatic. But also having been to the museum and everything else, there were elements in there where I'm like, oh, I've been there. And now obviously they were recreated, but you got pieces they brought up from the Titanic. Yeah. Anyways, I'm kind of a nerd. I love the Titanic. So for that reason alone, I would have to put it in S.
Ooh. We're not the only ones too that think that it's a boring movie. So Matthew would agree.
So. Yeah, I agree.
It is a little slow in parts. I'll give that. I mean, it was the first movie I ever had where when I bought it, it was on the VHSs. It was the 2 VHSs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
Having to change it over midway through.
My older sister
maybe
had
for that.
VHSs in her room. To me, I would definitely not put it at S. I will concede that we'd probably have to put it at A at the very least, but I'm not.
Okay,
I'm very hard against yes.
I'm okay with A.
Yeah,
I'm okay with A. Mm-hmm.
And how we're gonna do it is that we're only allowing 10 movies in the S tier, and then every other tier can have up to 20. So that's kind of how we're doing it.
So
I know that now I'm a little sketchy about putting things in S.
Yeah, right. See? You gotta be like that top tier.
So one of the movies, and I know I just literally just added it to this list, but it's just because I hate the remakes so much versus the originals, is The Omen.
Oh yeah.
God. Yeah.
And that's here.
Yeah.
So
such a
Unfortunately,
for me, I didn't actually mind it. Like I thought it was alright. I like Julia Stiles. I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I'm kind of in the middle.
Unfortunately, horror remakes, for some reason, most horror remakes just don't quite hit the mark. Not all of them are terrible,
Right.
but they're just not hitting that classic nature that we're looking for in a horror film.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be alright putting it pretty low. I mean,
I want to put it like G.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, no,
I want to put it G.
bad.
Just so if you've seen the original movies, I mean, just the actors they have in those films. You know, there's that great moment. I believe it's number 2 in Omen, where the kid's riding the big wheel in the hallway, and there's that stupid monkey thing that's hitting the shimbles.
I was like, isn't that The Shining?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Are you thinking of The Shining?
That's The Shining.
Am I a dork?
Kid running the big wheel through the halls. That's The Shining.
Okay, I'm a dork. Well, then I guess it's shit. All right. See, I feel like an amateur for this reason. Like I feel like I know generalities, and all of you guys are like,
no. Here's the
we
thing:
know
when it
good
comes
movies,
down to,
Chris.
What it comes down to with horror films, this happens all the time. Like they start to blend. Like you don't realize which horror film has what trope and what it happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think this came out just a couple years too soon. If it came out, say, in the last 5 years when the horror renaissance has been happening, we might have gotten a better script. We might have been able to adapt it better. But it was just before then, and it's not up to par even of the originals. The originals were an awful lot better.
Creepy.
Extremely creepy.
What this thing does have the advantage of is its cast. It's got a really good cast. I mean, you got Julia Stiles, Liv Schreiber, Mia Farrow, David Thewlis, Pete Postlethwaite, Michael Gambon. These are really good actors, and who all can do creepy really well. So it's got a great cast. Where it's lacking is probably in the script. This is one of the cases where I don't think they stuck enough to the original material. Sometimes I hate it when films are just shot for shot. It drives me nuts. But I want enough of my original that I get my nostalgia feels, but I feel they're trying to do something new with it. There's enough of the original stuff. I'm okay with that. But the new content is where it starts to really fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. But they did hit the perfect release date, June 6th, 2006. So they got that at least.
Yeah.
But it's not really saying much for the movie itself, though. So I still.
Well, I mean, it was a $25 million budget, and it made $120 million. So that's not terrible.
Okay, I didn't know it made that much money. All right.
I think
I would agree with you. Probably like E or F for me. Probably I mean, F is fine.
Okay, I'm okay with F. I'm okay with it not kicking it all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah, but we got a lot of horror remakes in here. Horror just seems to be remade a lot. So there's a lot of horror movies in here. But just to kind of go through some of these top ones. So this one I think is pretty bad. I don't know if you would all agree. Shaggy Dog.
Let's put that at the bottom.
I put it.
I don't think I ever saw the original Shaggy Dog.
So yeah, the Shaggy Dog. The Shaggy Dog. This film is actually more based on the Shaggy DA, not the original Shaggy Dog. Because Shaggy Dog dealt with a teenager who was changing. Shaggy DA was the father changing into a dog. Okay. And this is so bad. It's kind of this amalgamation of both. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's Tim Allen, I think, playing out his Disney contract.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
All I know is I watched about it. I hadn't seen the originals yet, but all I know is I watched about 5 minutes of it. My family put it on, and I was like, no, I'm going to watch something else in the other room.
See, the original you had Fred McMurray. Fred McMurray in Disney World is great. In Disney Con,
that's
great.
Awesome.
Oh,
ridiculous original cast.
Yeah. But
the new cast wasn't too bad either. It was Kirsten Davis was in there as well. Danny Glover, Robert Downey Jr. All made appearances as well. But this film was per. I have to go F or G again. It's not one that you're going to go back to and watch again.
Right.
Even with kids.
Yeah. Actually,
yeah.
And the CG stuff with the dog also is very.
Yeah.
And this one did not do well. It made its money back, but obviously they never did another one. So I should tell you something.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to get it to just like
where we can see more of us.
Well, I can do that. There you go. That's a little better. That way, if I
That's
go
a little better,
look up something on the side, like I was trying to do, was look up some of the cast that doesn't always pop up right on the screen. But all right, let's see. Well, next we got War of the Worlds, which I actually like quite a bit. Like I'm a fan of War of the Worlds. So
to me, it's not a bad remake. It's
not a bad.
To me, it's like it's somewhere in the middle. Like I think it's too long. I think Tom Cruise does a good job in it. I like her and his and Dakota Fanny's relationship. But yeah, they're still kind of like, they do some weird stuff in it towards the end, and I'm like, I'm not so sure.
I agree.
The ambience in this film, the ambience in this film is amazing. Like Spielberg hits the point. It feels tense. It feels like the world is ending. It absolutely does. I will say the thing that drove me crazy the most in the film was Dakota Fanning screaming all the time.
Yep,
that's fair.
That was a no-go for me. Otherwise, and I'll say it, I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan. I'm not. I don't always get him, and when I do, it's great. And when I don't,
I love Tom Cruise.
I'm a huge. I've done stage adaptations of this show. I've done. I have a degree in literature and arts, and I've studied stuff like this. And War of the Worlds is one that I've looked at.
Oh my gosh!
I grew up listening to this, like
so,
radio plays.
Yeah.
This version right here is so close, but those Spielberg flourishes, I feel, kind of knock it down a little bit.
They do.
He went too big.
Yeah.
I really wanted that close knit. I mean, the CG thing. this is one where I kind of wish there was less CG.
Right.
Less CG would have bumped it up.
The first half where they were kind of just doing like the Jaws kind of like element where you didn't see a lot and it was just like they were running around was kind of like made. I just said I love the first half of this movie, but then like you get to like midway through the second act and it just falls apart at the end.
Yeah,
it still doesn't ruin it for me, but it's just that's kind of how I feel about it.
Right. The second part for me was just okay. So, Chris, I hadn't actually listened to the original War of the Worlds until recently. Of course, the whole original broadcast read by him is on Spotify.
Yes.
Yeah, Orson Welles.
Okay.
Is just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
It's seriously amazing.
It really is at a point in time when that was created, when radio drama was going on. That was a high form of acting. Like really, because you didn't have the visuals. All you had were sound effects, and that's a whole nother deal. Sound effects in the old days. But then your actors. That is all you had to do it with. With this, unfortunately, like I said, less CG. If we had just focused much more in kind of a Cloverfield style, not the found footage, but the whole, we don't get a lot of the creature. It's focused more at ground level all the time. I would have been very happy. And then when it starts to get really bad, especially the stuff with like Tim Robbins, when they're down there, and that's really, really, really good.
Yes.
But all of the destruction and the creature burrowing in and all of that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It takes away from the tension that is this story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What I feel is that like the film is just under 2 hours long, but my biggest problem with the film is the pacing. It seems an awful lot longer than what the film is. It seems a lot longer than 2 hours, and then you have all this build up, and then it just ends. It goes from action, end. It's done and it's over. The pacing on it wasn't quite there. So like I'd bring this down to maybe a D, C.
I'd probably bring it down to a D as well. Actually,
wow.
I agree.
I would have sat at a C. I mean, the score, it's a John Williams score. And I absolutely love this because he plays that foreboding notes to it. And it really does carry what is there. At least it carries you through. I don't know about a D because that second half for me, I really like the second half greatly.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against a C, but I probably fall more in the D category myself. As I said, because to me, the first half I really like, and then the second half to me, like the first half I really like the tension and like the hysteria of it all, and then the second half it's like, no, this should have been more Jaws. This should have been more,
Yep, I agree.
And if
it's mediocre either way, it's a mediocre remake.
Yeah.
All right, and if they would have done the whole movie kind of more like the first half, and then maybe had like a big reveal at the end, I think that would have been awesome, just to kind of get just kind of how, I don't know, like how they do a lot of monster movies. I mean, like for a lot of Godzilla movies, you don't see them most of the movie, and then at the end you get a big reveal. Like I kind of like that stuff.
I don't know if Godzilla from 2016 or 2015 is on here, but that's kind of one of the things I liked about Godzilla. That Godzilla, not King of the Monsters, but Godzilla like 2016 with Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson, was the fact that it was like you didn't see they went back to, you don't see the monster for a while. Like you don't, and it's when you do, it's more just terror. And then there are some other issues with that film, but
the one they did years later where we briefly saw Breaking Bad. We briefly saw him meet that. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the one. That is the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the one. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. But that film failed because of the advertising. They advertised Bryan Cranston was in the film, and then he died in 5 minutes.
Right.
It was about 30 minutes. Let's get 30
minutes.
But that whole series is picking up. I've seen snippets of the Kong versus Godzilla. Let me tell you, if this all started because of that one, I can't wait.
But speaking of Kong versus Godzilla, if you do this next year, that's technically a remake because they did do a King Kong versus Godzilla in like the 1960s.
I don't know if I could fully call it a remake, and here's why I'll say that.
It's a reboot, but I'm saying it's definitely, it falls more into the reboot. But since we have reboots on here, I mean, I think
it kind of in between. Yeah,
it's like, for me, it really feels, because we have on this list also The Dark Knight. For me personally, I don't feel Dark Knight is like it's a sequel to a reboot to me.
Yeah,
right. So I would have had Batman Begins on here 100%, but Dark Knight, I was like, it's kind of the sequel to it. I couldn't.
I don't disagree with you, and I love The Dark Knight. I don't disagree with you.
Dark Knight is just
for me,
it's an amazing film. But if we replace that with Batman Begins, I think we have a conversation.
Yeah. For me, I just kind of thought that because bringing in the Joker as a villain kind of like makes it like somewhat comparable to the 1989 Batman.
It does and it doesn't, because I feel like there are completely different takes. Like they're completely different takes. They're completely different stories. They're going for different things. You have the whole Harvey Dent thing, which wasn't in Batman '89 at all. I mean, I can see the parallel, but to me, I think that one's an interesting.
Well, okay, here's the thing with that though, with the Harvey Dent thing, is that it kind of was, in a way. You had the Harvey Dent, and unfortunately it was spanned out because then you had Two-Face later on.
Right.
And the jumping and everything, it's supposed to be, and I get it, and it's done way better. No argument.
That's my biggest issue with The Dark Knight. I love The Dark Knight, but my biggest issue is they wasted. It seems like Christopher Nolan, before Heath Ledger died, it was like going to be done after The Dark Knight. He wasn't going to come back for a third. So he took whatever his third film was going to be, added it to the second half of The Dark Knight, and then added those two movies together and made one movie.
But there's definitely one I would love to talk about, because I think we could talk forever about Batman movies. That's a whole other day.
Oh, yeah.
One that I want to talk about, I kind of want to institute what I feel is possibly the first S tier. And that's Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Now, I'm a mega Bond fan. Mega Bond fan.
I don't think there needs to be a conversation about
sitting right next to me right now. I love Bond villains.
When this on here?
It's down there, right next to it. There you go. Yeah, that is an S tier 100% of the way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just to set...
I'll be right back, guys.
Go ahead. Just setting the stage on Bond is like, you had the 90s, which was Pierce Brosnan. Now, I love Pierce Brosnan. I really, really love Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. But Brosnan was hit and miss. You like GoldenEye was amazing, and then Tomorrow Never Dies was, and then it went back to The World Is Not Enough, which I like. It's not great. It's not bad. It's a good Bond film. And then the last one with Halle Berry. Brain skipping right now.
Yes.
That was
Die Another Day.
Yeah, Die Another Day. That wasn't great. Yeah. So
but we got Halle Berry.
Kind of shocking,
right? Yeah.
And so they come in and they say, let's do Bond, but let's change it up. Let's do this. So they take Casino Royale, which wasn't an original. It was an original release, but it wasn't an Aeon production, an official production. And they say, let's do Casino Royale, which was one of Ian Fleming's first. And they redo it. They bring in this guy, Daniel Craig, who people are like, wait, I don't know.
Daniel Craig is,
And he hits it out of the park. He's a little brooding, but you know what? I love that. We get kind of this origin story, sort of James Bond.
Yeah.
We get it all start over, and yet it isn't. It's like a soft reboot in a way. It's a sequel.
Right. It really is.
I love this. And I love this movie so much. Arguably, I will argue this, that it is top 3 of the best Bond films in existence.
Oh, yeah.
If not already being a great film. Period.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I definitely think it constitutes the S tier. I mean, Daniel Craig and then Eva Green in the film. I love Eva Green. Oh my god. I may have had a low key crush on her.
The chemistry was there.
The chemistry is there. Like, you get why he was gonna leave immediately to go with her.
Right.
It's definitely there. And she didn't put up with the kind of the Bond BS either.
Right.
And she was willing to call him on his bluff and everything else and call him out, one of the few people that ever called Bond out.
Right. Exactly.
And
I loved that it was a little grittier. Of course, it paid homage to what we all love about the classic Bond films, and then kind of it really made you realize that, wait a second, Bond's kind of messed up, and here's kind of why. And we saw that played out on the screen.
Yeah. And also Jeffrey Wright is Felix Fletcher. Oh my god. I wish we got more of him. I really to me, that was one of the shames, one of the things from Casino Royale that I wish we got in the other movies, more of their relationship, because I thought that was just perfect casting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And also I said I've always wanted to see a Felix Fletcher kind of spin-off series with Jeffrey Wright. I feel like
that would be actually really cool.
Isn't it Felix Leiter?
Yeah, Felix Leiter.
Hey, I was on board with you.
My favorite thing about the film was that they actually brought Bond into realism. Anything that you could see that would happen, you felt that could actually happen.
This Bond villain was by far one of the best we'd had in so long, because it had, every Bond villain always had a thing. Goldfinger was into gold. Oddjob had the hat. Jaws, as campy as it is, had the jaws. This guy, he sheds tears of blood. It's so subtle, but it's so menacing. And Mads Mikkelsen,
Mads Mikkelsen. Oh my god, this was my introduction to Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen should be in everything. Like he just, I just saw him in that Arctic survival movie. Like I went to go see that recently. He's amazing. Like anything he does, like anything that he puts his name to, I always see, and this was kind of why.
And they give us Bond without. What I really love is the lack of gadgets. Now I'm a big gadgets fan. I love the cars. Gadgets. I love the toys. But this doesn't rely on that. It doesn't rely on catchy one-liners. It doesn't rely on double entendre. It relies on the story, the acting ability of Daniel Craig, and just letting him discover what James Bond is to the 21st century.
Right. And also, it, as you said, not a lot of gadgets, but it does have some gadgets, but it kind of brings it in to reality. So, I mean, like, we know spying exists, we know gadgets exist, and makes him kind of have to basically feign for his own. So that sounds hopefully kind of
and then there's that one scene, of course, that makes every single man cringe. Is that torture scene?
Yes.
But do we not? I love amazing. Okay, one of the things I've always hated is Bond is this idea of that Bond's going to get away. Bond's going to escape. No harm is going to come to Bond. Wait, strapped to this chair. What is he doing? Ow!
No, you can't hurt James Bond. Go to hell. I hate you.
But it's that
the world's
realism.
biggest womanizer,
I
and they're
agree with
killing
you
him
on the realism. Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have you guys seen the original Casino Royale where Orson Welles plays with Chief? Oh my god!
Whoa! Wait a second.
I never seen it. No.
So
it's not really. It's more of a parody of James Bond than like actually a James Bond movie. But it's like, and it also is weird because like it takes place after the books. It features like a retired James Bond. It's really weird. But then Orson Welles comes into it as like when you get into like the Casino Royale part of it. Orson Welles does like all these weird magic tricks. It's really it's one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen.
This is also why this is an S remake as well, or reboot, is because I just want to give you an idea. Woody Allen is in the original as Jimmy Bond.
Bond, yes.
Jimmy Bond, which is Bond's nephew.
Didn't know that.
The moment you put Woody Allen in a Bond film, I'm done.
You forgot to leave out the best part. He can't get an erection, and he also can't. That's his stick. He can't get an erection anytime James Bond is around.
Is that like a joke?
Yes, it is. They take Casino Royale and they turn it into a comedy. There are several different James Bonds. So James Bond is a code name. So and then there's an actual James Bond. After he retires, a bunch of people take on the name James Bond.
David Niven was the James Bond, but then Peter Sellers, Ursula Andress,
yes,
Woody Allen. Technically, Woody Allen
is it James Bond? Yes, It's a weird movie. It's one of the it's one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. I just thought I would mention it since we're talking about Casino Royale.
By far the best.
I thought I'd seen that, but now I gotta just see the original just for pure WTF.
But so are we in agreement that Casino Royale S tier?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Then I think we need to go to the opposite end of the spectrum and look at Never Say Never Again.
Which is on here somewhere. I gotta.
It's down right there.
Quantum Solace was a pile of shit.
I also want to talk about. I want to talk about Incredible Hulk and Lord of the Rings before we're done here today.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just figured since we're already on the Bond topic here.
Yeah.
If you see Never Say Never Again, point it out because
it was right next to Ocean's 11 when I saw it on the list.
Let's see. I know it's
a blue. There it is. Right there. Yeah.
Okay.
So Never Say Never Again is another non-Aeon. It's not official. It is a remake of Thunderball, which is a pretty good Bond film in its own right.
Yeah.
But they bring Sean Connery out of retirement, and they named it Never Say Never Again because originally Sean Connery said he would never play Bond again. So they just redid Thunderball entirely, but in the 80s. I believe Kim Basinger is the Bond girl.
Yes.
But it's so odd watching like 60, 70-year-old Sean Connery.
But there's also like a weird reason why there's also a weird reason why they were allowed to remake it and make it a non-Eon. It's something like there was an author rights issue thing, so technically they were both in the end both allowed to do it. So that's why the guy who like went off on his own and gave it to somebody, and they made a remake.
I mean, what's really great about this film, and it's the only thing that would keep me from putting it in G, is that it is Bond. It is Thunderball.
Right.
Thunderball was good, and it retells Thunderball fine, except it's old James Bond, and I don't buy that. It does not work here. He's past, and I love Sean Connery, but you're hitting on a very young and pretty in the 80s Kim Basinger, and you're, grayed out Sean Connery. He does not look like he does in the poster. This doesn't work.
Okay, now I'm trying to remember this movie because I thought I saw it.
I'm serious. Think of Thunderball. Just make Sean Connery old. That's all it is. It's the same thing. It's lazy at that too. I don't get it. Like, it's almost shot for shot the same thing too. Just newer technology.
Yeah, one thing I do have to point out is that my wife, for some reason, has a huge crush on old Sean Connery. She actually doesn't like him from his younger days as a young James Bond. She likes him from like Indiana Jones. Likes it from this movie here, Never Say Never Again. Like she likes that. So I mean, I don't know if a lot of women prefer that, but my wife does. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I can agree there. My wife likes the Golden Fox, Sean Connery as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've never seen it, so I mean, I'm up to wherever you guys want to rank.
I'm exactly the same. I'm not a James Bond isn't one of my
Irving Kershaw's
franchises, so
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just is. It's bad. Max von Sydow's in this. It has potential, but like I said, it's just a rehash of Thunderball. Why waste the time? Just go watch Thunderball. It's far better.
But is it better than The Omen? It's probably better than that, at least, right?
As a Bond, okay.
What's tough?
As a Bond fan, I have to make it F. It's not as bad as some Bond films. Maybe as a film by itself, as a remake, I could bump it up to E, but it's not much better than that.
See, so I had no idea this was a remake. Wow.
Put it right there. Yeah. I think that sounds about right. So JD, you mentioned the Incredible Hulk. I was gonna see if I could find.
Yeah, it was right on top. It's first row. First row.
Let's see.
First row, right next to the Dark Knight.
So this is one of my Marvel holes. For some reason or another, I never saw the Incredible Hulk. I've
seen this film a few times. I'm not telling you it's the best Marvel movie. I'm not telling you it's one of but it's definitely not the worst. It's not there. I rewatched it recently. It is a solid Marvel MCU origin story. I really like Edward Norton as Banner. I think it has a lot of ties to the MCU. When rewatching it, I was surprised by. Like, you see why it's like Tony Stark knows about the Hulk. Like, he was actually helping Thunderbolt Ross, hunt him. Like, there are some surprising ties to this movie. Nick Fury was helping Thunderbolt Ross track him. There are some surprising ties to the MCU I did not know about. That I not remember before I rewatched it recently.
I don't remember that
either. I also
think
that I really like Liv Tyler and and Edward Norton's chemistry. It falls into the same kind of MCU problems that it ultimately falls into the third act, which is forgettable villain and I love Tim Roth, but
Tim Roth is meant to be coming back.
Yeah,
he is coming back as Abomination.
Yeah. I love Tim Roth, but when he turns into the Abomination, it turns into generic. He's very interesting before that, but yeah, when he goes into the Abomination, it just turns into generic Marvel fight. But other than that, like they were gonna bring, what's the mind man,
the leader.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Tim Blake Nelson was in it, who was really good in the brief scenes he was in. I really kind of liked their back and forth about the efficacies of this kind of experiment. And it's tied to the super soldier serum too. Like it's tied to he's part of the secret the super soldier project. Like these experiments are part of the super soldier project. So they were thinking that this one was going to be the big one, and they were thinking Iron Man was going to be the forgotten one. They were banking on this to be like the one that like was really gonna. It's surprising watching it, but as I said, it's solid. It's not the best. I would put it in B or C tier. It's right in the middle.
Really,
it's
See, I did a Marvel or an MCU ranking myself just on Letterboxd there, and I have this second to last. The only one behind it would be Thor 2.
I have it like it's not, to me. It's okay. Iron Man 2 is the worst. Iron Man 2 is definitely the worst. Marvel is definitely lower for me.
Thor 2.
I think we're talking a list of another day.
We are.
Another day. I'm just saying,
like ranking the best Marvel movies of all time.
To me, 4 is even more boring at times than
4
the Incredible Hulk. So, like again, I put it. It's not the best. But I don't think it's their worst, and I don't think it's their second worst. I don't think it's their third worst. I feel like it's somewhere. It's in that middle tier of Marvel movie. In my opinion,
it tends to get forgotten. It does. And what people seem to forget too is that it came out only a couple months after Iron Man, same summer. It was the exact same summer.
And again,
it came out a couple months after Iron Man. Iron Man came out the same time as Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
It was May 2008, and then Incredible Hulk was July 2008.
Yeah, so it comes out a little bit later. And here's the thing: I grew up with the Hulk. My dad was a big fan of Lou Ferrigno. So I kind of grew up watching reruns of the Hulk. Right. I really like what they presented with us this. I really liked Abomination. Yes. I liked Tim Roth. I liked Thunderbolt Ross. Like I felt everything they built was great, but the payoff in the end is what knocks this down.
Yeah,
because we didn't get the leader. We haven't gotten the leader since, and the leader is one of Hulk's greatest enemies.
Right.
Yes. And we don't have that. We're not having that. I hope since they're bringing Tim Roth in for She-Hulk, I believe that we might see the leader down the line there. That would be nice.
I think that's part of all that is because Marvel don't completely own the Hulk yet. There's still some.
That's the catch with this.
That's the problem. Is it's owned by
what we're talking here? If we're trying to rank the Hulk,
distribution rights to that.
Yeah.
If we're trying to rank the Hulk here, is it better than War of the Worlds? I don't think so. I don't think it can go above War of the Worlds.
Yeah,
I don't put it above War of the Worlds, but I think it's on. I have the same issues with it that I do. World of the Worlds, I have the same issue with World of the Worlds as I do with the Incredible Hulk, so I'd still put it behind World of the Worlds.
I think it is a good position.
Maybe. I think it's better because the character development in Hulk is better. It's more consistent, but like both films, the overall payoff just kind of falls flat. It doesn't quite work. And now, as an MCU film, again, discussion for another day, I think it's way better than people give it credit for.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
But I think it is. I think it's C tier, but I think it's better than War of the Worlds.
Yep.
I think it's better, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would put it above War of the Worlds. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that.
I would personally too, but that's me.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I apparently need to rewatch this movie.
Yeah, same. I need to watch it for the first time.
There are worse ways you could spend 2 hours.
It's not a bad. It's a solid movie. Unfortunately, Iron Man came out, and then it came out right after Iron Man. That's
overshadowed.
This is the ultimate fault of this movie. They thought Iron Man was going to do okay, but they didn't think it was going to blow up like how Iron Man thought it was going to be. They thought the Hulk was going to be there. This was going to be it. The Hulk was going to be it, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep pulling from the top here. We got Thomas Crown Affair. I've never seen it either.
I have not seen it. I have not seen it in several years, but it definitely was a childhood favorite of in my household.
I like Brosnan. Brosnan was awesome.
And Renee Russo too is really good.
Yeah. But of course, I love Renee Russo. She's amazing.
This was feeding off of Brosnan's Bond.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's right before he ends it. The chemistry between him and Russo works. It's kind of fun. But I gotta say, not much else comes from this.
Right.
You have Dennis Leary in it. There's that.
Yeah.
Hey, Dennis Leary was an amazing Spider-Man. What's your point?
Yeah. Right. I've never seen it, so wherever you guys think it belongs.
So, having seen the original Thomas Crown Affair, it's a lot better than this one. But as you said, it's a fun movie. If you got, it's not amazing.
It's C or D. It's somewhere in there.
I'd go.
The original one was.
The problem we have is we're comparing Pierce Brosnan to Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
That's a rough comparison. It is as apples and oranges.
Right. Steve McQueen's a god.
Because Steve McQueen he was that man's man of that time. That's that was the guy. Brosnan, I would never classify as a man's man. He's Bond. It's a different classification.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
No, he's definitely not Steve McQueen is kind of has this rugged man kind of feel.
Yeah, it's rugged
Pierce
badass.
Brosnan is definitely not that.
He's like the refined English gentleman who you probably sit down and
yes.
The other thing that adds to this is it's a John McTiernan film.
Oh. Okay. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, so we got a little Die Hard in there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he worked on it. That's awesome.
Well, one thing that definitely brings this film up, though, is the score. The score in this film is excellent.
Bill Conti.
Yeah, the score is beautiful. Yeah.
I do not remember the score for this movie. Okay, I gotta look it up.
Well, I'd put, if we're ranking it again, they're D.
Yeah, it's C or D. That's where I kind of that's where.
It's a good fun movie.
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. I wouldn't be.
I'll mark it as, I would say, a D. And it's not bad. Yeah. D makes it sound to me like it's bad. It's just middle of the road.
Exactly. It's
right in the middle of
C or D, middle of the road. That's what I consider C and D. It's middle of the road.
Yeah.
You're gonna have there's worse times to spend. There's worse time to watch.
Right.
Yep. Right. Like you can watch the next one.
Like
the
I never saw the original.
Machine, which I would have.
I never saw the original, but I actually liked this when it came out. But the more that I watched it on repeat viewings, I did not like it. But my ex watched every horror movie that ever came out, so I've seen a lot of horror. I'm so into horror, but I would probably put it above Shaggy Dog, but I'd put it right there. That's my initial thought.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be that low. No,
I haven't seen it. I don't have an opinion here.
I mean,
do you have any other?
I would say that it's a little more memorable than The Omen for sure. I would put it probably in front of The Omen.
I would tend to agree with that, but I haven't seen The Omen. I've only seen trailers for The Omen, so it's hard for me to really argue.
Why do you have The Grudge?
Just because
The Grudge, the original, was a Japanese movie.
No, I was like, you had The Grudge. I was like, did we rate that?
Oh
no.
Yeah.
No, we're working on it. That's what we brought up next.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd say about there then. I mean,
What do you guys think?
For Grudge?
It's not one I've seen, The Grudge there, so I can't.
Yeah,
really
me
give an
either.
opinion on
I
this.
can't speak to The Grudge.
Okay.
I think it. Yeah. I think it's good there.
I'm a little torn. No, I am a little torn because The Grudge was not the first to bring Japanese horror to America.
Right.
But I thought it did better than that. I really did. Like, it had some legitimate good moments, and The Grudge spawned, an entire other franchise, which it's not a terrible franchise. It's not.
And the scene with like the little Japanese boy crawling down the stairs kind of gave me nightmares too.
Okay, that did give me nightmares. Okay.
That legit freaked me out.
It's higher than an F.
It's higher than an F, yeah. Okay.
I could put it at like an E or a D even.
I think it's a middle of the road. I think it's a good D. It was a very good D. Attempt. Yeah,
definitely. Actually, you got a good point. There are some moments, like that kid crawling down the stairs, scared the shit out of me. Yeah,
the music is really terrifying, and
and when she's in the shower, she pulls her hair back, and
you got the little hand. I think that's a good spot for it.
I can see the next one there. It's Superman.
Which one?
Let's go Man of Steel first, and then I think Superman Returns would be a good dichotomy.
Man of Steel myself, I rank this one as my favorite DC film still today, or DCEU, I should say. It's definitely better than Hulk.
It's better than Hulk. I will grant you it's better than Hulk.
So I'm it's a
B. B I think is solid.
Solid B.
It's a solid B. Like
personally, I'll give it an A. Like I love this movie. I think it's just great. Like I don't know.
The score
it's not up there with Titanic now.
It's not up there with Titanic.
Well, here's
the score is incredible.
With Man of Steel, while I'm a huge Superman junkie, I adored this when I saw it. I really did. Ooh. I was one of the people. I adored it. I was one of the people that said,
Same.
I get why he killed Zod. I don't have a problem with him killing Zod. I understand why he killed Zod.
Yes.
It totally made sense to me, logically. The things that went in here were great. The reimagining of his story and Krypton, and this is the part where I say they take the source material. They take what you know, and then they do their own thing with it. The reimagining of Krypton and how the mythos works, and I loved it.
And I loved the villain was amazing.
God is great. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with it. There are two things I don't like. Number one, product placement.
Yeah.
We didn't need all that product placement. It wasn't needed.
We didn't need the IHOP scene? You're saying we
don't need no IHOP?
Yeah.
We don't need no 7-Eleven?
Or destroy an IHOP, yeah.
Hey, don't hate on 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is one of my childhood places.
The second thing, though, is that I do feel it drags a little much in the beginning.
It does.
It's kind of what knocks it down. But when it picks up, when it goes, and I'm very happy with it.
The score is fantastic. I think Henry Cavill was a perfect choice as Superman,
perfect choice.
They still need to give him. They still need a film that they still need to give him like an actual own sequel.
100%.
I hate to say this, but BVS actually kind of hurts this movie because the tone where I was like I was willing to the tone was a breath of fresh air, for Man of Steel, after Superman Returns, but then they really they go way too far with everything. They take that tone and then with BVS they go way too far with it, and I think that hurts it in the wrong one because it basically gave Zack Snyder the okay to go really, really dreadful.
That was the other thing I didn't like about this film was Lois discovering who he was way too early.
I actually like that. She's supposed to be the world's greatest reporter. She should be able to figure out who Lois Lane is. I didn't have an issue with that.
The Superman mythology kind of establishes the fact that Lois doesn't get it. And I kind of like that fact. Like, here's the thing. Every human has a blind spot in some way or another in something. For Lois, it's Superman. She doesn't see it. She doesn't get it. She could see everything else. That she doesn't. I kind of like that aspect of it, and that development of a relationship over time between her and Clark is something in the comics I really liked. This was just so quick, and I'm like, okay.
I kind of, as I said, I liked it because like she's supposed to be the world's greatest reporter. The world's greatest reporter should be able to figure out that Clark Kent is Superman.
Right? Like, he keeps who randomly runs off the change.
I'm sorry. I mean, I get that's what the comics do. Like, I know
for the film,
it's a similar issue that I have with Shazam. It's an adaptation. It's not supposed to be straight from the comics. And I'm sorry. I don't just because it's in the comics, I don't necessarily think that means it should be. You should follow it to a T. I had this issue with Shazam with the Foster family, like them being the ideal versions of themselves, and I have the same problem here. And I love that they made Lois Lane, the smart reporter that she actually is. She would figure out that Clark Kent is Superman.
I would agree with that. One of the things that always gets me is that everybody always complains that there's way too much destruction in this movie. They're just haphazardly fighting, and like people are getting killed, and all these things. But the thing is, when you're fighting for your life, you don't have time to
No. That I didn't.
Who's getting hurt? What's getting destroyed? You're just fighting for your own life, and it's like it's this big, epic, serious moment, and like you can't really like take time to like care about that kind of stuff. But I think a lot of people tend to complain about that, and I don't really understand that. I actually love all the fight scenes. I do too.
I'm sure at least for me, I didn't have an issue with it in Man of Steel. It made complete sense to me in Man of Steel. But then BVS happens, and they go full blown into that, like within. They'll explain it later, and they do, and they explain it in Man of Steel. But it's like he goes way. The Dread stuff goes. It's more has to do with the Dread. I think the Dread goes way. In hindsight, this gave him an excuse to say, "Oh, Dread and terrible, and god awfulness, dread and awful and death that's okay. Let's go more into that.
It's only all the dark I have an issue dreariness.
So I'm probably I feel like I'm probably the only one in this group that actually liked Batman versus Superman. I liked how they went darker. I liked
BBS. I did. Now I will admit. I saw it in theaters. I saw it for my birthday. And again, huge Superman fan. In subsequent watches, and I'm going to have to say theatrically, because I've seen the extended. Yes, it makes it a little better, gives you a little more, but we're looking at theatrical here. In subsequent watches, I kind of see more of the problems now, and it did affect me and how I view it. Now, in the grand arc of things, it's not so bad. By itself, it has its problems. Man of Steel suffers. I agree with you. Suffers because of Batman versus Superman.
My issues with BBS is the Dread, and then the fact they crammed like 5 different stories into there.
Yeah, true. They did cram way too much into that.
I've never been a fan of Eisenberg as Lex.
No, me neither. That was that.
It's an interesting take. It's just he went way cheesy with it, way too cheesy with it.
The Jolly Rancher.
The Jolly Rancher.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
The part of me wants to go, was that your idea, Jesse? Or was that Snyder? I'm curious.
But
absolutely.
I will say the scene where Jesse Eisenberg and Superman are having a conversation on the rooftop is a very good scene.
Yeah.
Like him, like my father only taught me that, since he tortured me, I always knew that God, if God is all knowing, he can't be all powerful. And if he's all powerful, then he can't be all knowing. I'm like, I felt that was a fun scene.
It was a fun scene.
But the other stuff, yeah, I 100% agree with you. But that seems really good. I'm just going to throw that out.
And then wait, come on, just say it now. Why did you say that name?
Yeah, right.
Why did you say that name? Martha!
I want to. Here's the thing. I kind of secretly wish more heroes had parents named Martha, just for the memes of heroes popping up. What? Martha? What? Martha? What?
Yeah, right. Sure. Now, would you rank The Man of Steel above Titanic? I personally would, because I don't
Yes.
like
No.
Yes, I would too.
Really?
I would
No
too.
way.
But,
Here, no.
Yes.
way.
Yes.
Yes.
yes, I say yes.
Yes.
Personally,
Yes.
I personally, I would
Yes.
put The Man of Steel in the S tier below Casino Royale. That's just me, 'cause I love Man of Steel, but
I
I mean,
love Man of Steel.
No,
I'd even say it should be an S tier.
unfortunately, it does. Here's the thing: like Casino Royale, we kind of agree. It has no flaws. As
Yeah,
right.
it is a perfect film the way it is. Man of Steel has problems. Titanic has problems.
Yes.
When you have noticeable things like that you kind of pick out and go, it can still be a great film. But is it like the greatest of the greatest when we can only put 10 in here?
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
What's
Definitely.
Sid?
Put it
Well,
in
we're talking Superman. We might as well start talking about the other Superman film on this list.
Yes.
Superman Returns.
Isn't that more of a sequel?
It's a sequel.
It is a sequel. But it's a reboot.
Yes and no.
Reboot.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like it's yes and no. It's because like it gets rid of 3 and 4. Like it's like
which I'm okay with, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's kind of like this weird kind of thing. I still consider it a reboot, just because it's a new rendition of the person, and also, as I said, they're completely getting rid of continuity that they don't want to address.
I mean, this has some things that are really good for it.
Yes,
I've enjoyed Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
You mean Christopher Plummer?
100% my favorite Lex Luthor. No questions asked.
Yeah.
This is my Lex.
Yeah, Christopher Plummer is great as Lex Luthor.
Not Plummer.
What?
Spacey.
It's Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
That was a joke.
Whatever.
That was a joke.
Kevin Spacey's a god.
How you replace Kevin Spacey with Christopher Plummer? That was.
You like it better than Gene Hackman, though? What about Gene Hackman?
The casting choices.
Gene Hackman's amazing, though.
No,
that's amazing.
There's a reason he's a hack.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
well done.
I'll go there one day. We'll talk about
shots
Gene
fired.
No, Kevin Spacey is Lex Luthor is amazing. Mm-hmm. I think James Marsden is actually also really good as like Lois Lane's husband.
The overall casting for everybody is great, and Brandon Routh.
Oh, Brandon Routh is awesome.
Could you have gotten somebody who looks and acts any more like Christopher Reeve, other than Christopher Reeve at that point? You
I agree.
And you know what the weird things is? That he toned it back. Like if you watch the audition videos, he goes full Christopher Reeve, and like if you watch, there was like they show like his. And like one of the behind the scenes thing, they shows like his audition video, and his audition video, he goes like full Christopher Reeve.
He had a lunch meeting with the director just prior, kind of, because he was one of the ones that we're talking about. He walked in really legitimately nervous, like just this is Superman, and he knocked in. He goes to shake his hand, and he knocks over a cup and just fumbles everything.
Yeah.
And like, and he knew the director knew at that point. That's my guy.
Yeah,
that's my guy. That's my Clark.
Shit, really?
The one thing I'll say about this, I wasn't a big fan of this film, but if we are ranking it, it's not better than the Thomas Crown Affair. There's no way this film.
No, I agree. There are severe flaws with this.
It suffers from a bad third act.
Yeah, it suffers from a bad third act. I also although he acts more he acts more Superman than Henry Cavill does, but that's a different conversation. But
the thing I don't like about it, majorly, is let's just call it what it is. Superboy.
Superboy is not good, and Keith Bosworth is not great as Lois Lane.
No,
she's awful.
She's not great as Lois Lane. Let's be honest. Like I don't think she's as bad an actress as people said she is, but she's not good as Lois Lane. She was miscast.
And honestly, I've only seen bits and pieces of this. I actually have not seen Superman Returns all the way through it.
I saw it in theaters, actually.
Has anyone seen like the free? Has anyone seen like the free hour cut where they add like the scene where he goes back to Krypton?
No.
And sees like the devastation, like because they again the behind the scenes thing.
That sounds cool.
They eventually came out with a cut of this. There was a whole first act was going to be Superman going back to Krypton and just seeing it all in ruins, like him. And that's how it plays into like when you see Kevin Spacey's like, oh, that was me. I told him that, Krypton was still there. And, that was all going to play in. That's why he left. It was a deception of Kevin Spacey or Lex Luthor. And he went to Krypton and there was going to be a whole.
I'm kind of glad they didn't, because here's the thing, like the mythology of Superman, having him always longing to understand what is he? He's not human. He's the last Kryptonian. Like, what is he? So the idea of him taking a trip back to Krypton to really see it for himself absolutely made sense to me. That will actually fit logic to Clark. But this is the part that I don't like, him actually taking the trip to go, because Superman never would have left the people behind. He would have never left the people of Earth because he loved them and wanted to help them. And if this is supposed to be like a sequel from 1 and 2, he already showed the people needed help. The people, what were they without Superman? I don't think he would have left. So it suffers from both parts. I get it,
right,
but I don't get it.
I just think it would have been interesting. Like, what happens? Like, I feel like the idea of it. It's a good idea. Like, I think it's a good idea. I do. I solidly do.
Well,
yep. Go on. Sorry.
For me, I would probably tend to put it I'd put it above The Grudge for sure, but not Thomas Crown Affair.
Definitely above The Grudge.
Above The Grudge, yeah.
I think that's about right. Yeah, I think that sounds good. Let's see what we got here. So we got the Time Machine here, which is actually
I think E. I think E right there is the perfect position for it.
Yeah. E. For me, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. Like, I actually when I watched this, I was like a teenager the first time that I saw it, and I actually really enjoyed it then. Maybe not as much now, but I mean, I'd probably even put it at a D.
I mean,
read the book. Read the book.
Yeah, it's nothing like the book. It's nothing.
The book's a lot better, huh? Yeah,
it's nothing like the book, and they just decided, oh, let's make the Time Machine, but let's take everything out of it and make it an action adventure film. Because
so it's pretty different than the book, huh?
Absolutely different. Yeah.
Okay. So I never read the.
I just yeah.
Well, I'd be okay with the E then.
Can I grab one that I think absolutely will go on the bottom? Beauty and the Beast remake.
I actually love that
movie. I like it.
I
really
like
it.
No one's on here somewhere.
I'll give my piece and then I'll settle down on this.
Okay.
I am not a fan of shot for shot. I'm not. I can't stand it. I'm not a shot for shot. It absolutely is. And adding things into
basically
it is great, but they missed things 100%. For example, they had Emma. Hold on. We'll get to Lion King.
Yeah.
So,
if you want to talk about the Lion King, I can be more with you behind the train. I like Emma Watson as Belle. I think Dan Stevens is a good Beast.
Dan Stevens is the only casting in this that works.
Dan Stevens.
I like Luke. I'm sorry. I like Luke Evans as Gaston.
Yeah, Luke. You're right.
Josh Gad was fantastic as LeFou.
All the supporting cast and the
Stanley Tucci's good in this film as Belle's father. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely not.
One thing that stands out
Ewan
for me.
McGregor was great.
No!
Yes, 100%. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yes,
good. Ewan McGregor. Okay, I'm sorry. Ewan McGregor could make a cooking show, and I'd watch the shit out of
that. Okay, right. My most egregious things in this film. One of the character designs. I can't stand the character designs. I'm like, I didn't need like uber cartoon. I'm like, I get it. You wanted to make them a little more real, but I would like to have had a little bit more of anthropomorphism.
I can go with you with it said Lion King. We can have this discussion for Lion King, but I cannot follow you with you on this on Beauty.
The most egregious thing in here is the miscast of Emma Thompson and Audra McDonald. They should have been flipped. Audra McDonald is a Tony Award-winning actress, has sang beautiful songs throughout history, and they use her for a song twice. Emma Thompson, who I'm sorry, is not a great singer. They make her Mrs. Potts and make her sing Tale as Old as Time, and it was horrible. Audra McDonald should have been brought into this, and that alone is a travesty in this. But the designs of the characters,
I would agree with that.
The fact that I'm sorry, I don't buy Emma Thompson. No, excuse me, that's not Emma Thompson. That's Hermione Granger in a dress.
Yeah.
Okay, because she does not have Belle quality to me. It does not fly in here at all.
Yeah,
this was absolutely.
I think she was mediocre at best. I mean, she was all right. I didn't find her horrible.
I get that you don't like it to read. They basically shot it most part shot for shot, but I don't think it's a bad reshot.
I didn't hate it like everybody did. So okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's
everything. So I kind of avoided seeing this movie. All right. So I avoided it. And then I was like, oh, it's at the cheap theater. I'll go see the cheap theater because I like going to the movies. Nothing like seeing a movie in theaters.
Did you want your dollar back?
No. No.
It's not the worst
I thought it was fun. And the biggest scene that everyone wanted to make a big deal of is the kiss scene. It wasn't there.
Dan Stevens and Nevermore, though, I will say this much. I like Nevermore. That was a good addition. I've done the Broadway show, and there's another song that's very similar.
Yeah, I've seen Beauty and the
Beast. I've never seen Nevermore.
I've seen it.
Yeah, the song he sings in this, the Nevermore, which is really well done. I'll give it that. But it also felt like Oscar fodder. Like, hey, we're fishing for that original song nomination.
If we're ranking this, honestly, from the films that we have there, I put it above Hulk.
No. I know.
It's above.
I've never seen it, so I can't really say it. But
I can't put it above Hulk.
No.
I can't put it above Hulk.
See, I'll be happy with, but it's not any worse than that.
Yeah. Right? Absolutely not.
No. I'm with you with the C, but it's not. I'm with you with the C, but it's not above Hulk.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yep, fine. That's grand by me.
That's fine.
Right where it is. All right.
Can we talk about
any more that
can we talk about another what I consider to be an S tier?
Now we mean we have to argue like.
I want to talk about. Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring.
Yes. Yeah, and that's down.
Those movies
straight to us,
right here. Yeah, that's straight S. That's
it has none of the problems. It has none of the problems in 2 and 3, and it flows perfectly. I don't see any fault with that film whatsoever. That is the only one of that trilogy that I can see S tier. But those that is definitely it's amazing.
It's above Casino Royale by far.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I would say.
Yes, I'd
come on,
put it above
incredible job with it. I mean,
the whole trilogy is perfect.
Lord of the Rings created.
Hobbit is
my franchise love is a little torn right now. I'm like, is it better than one?
Here's the thing, especially after seeing like Two Towers, I think has issues. Rewatching this, like I loved this as a kid. Two Towers, I think. When they start doing like Merry and Pippin stuff, I don't care about them. I'm sorry.
I like them. They're one of my favorite things about
I do.
This.
I really do. That's not a problem here. I loved it. This one tells a perfect story.
Right.
About the Frodo and the Shire and the Ring and the Fellowship and the breaking of the Fellowship. It feels complete, yet still teases you about what's to come right after. No other one does this, as said.
I would argue.
I find Merry and Pippin very annoying, especially after when they go on their own storylines. This one doesn't have that problem. I just find them in this film, I find them just the right amount of comic relief. and then especially
I really like Merry and Pippin.
You know,
I like their storyline.
With the Pippin, like, you know, tower thing where he was just acting like an idiot for the whole movie. I'm sorry. I'm not a Merry and Pippin fan. I'm sorry.
With Lord of the Rings trilogy, I would argue in this that I couldn't put just one film as S. I would put it as the entire trilogy because it's one of those that I hate. I understand as long as it is. You have to watch it all in one block now because
I couldn't. There are too many issues. I have very severe nitpicks in order that would prevent me from putting all of them in S tier. But Lord of the Rings Fellowship is 100% a perfect movie. They use Merry and Pippin perfectly in that movie. They're just the right amount of comic relief, and I just and also with the what's her name, the love triangle between Aaron, Aragorn and Aaron and
Eowyn.
Eowyn,
yeah, and whoever the woman was, the other woman was, Arwen. I like Liv Tyler's and Viggo Mortensen's relationship. I find Arwen so frustrating as a character because, I find Theodore's niece so frustrating because, like, she's pining for him, and the interest is just not there, and they're just trying to force a love triangle for the sake of being a love triangle, and I just don't buy it. Aragorn is never interested at all, and then there are other scenes with her character that are just so great and so female empowerment that I just find it so frustrating that she goes back and forth between pining for Aragorn and women empowerment, fighting for everyone. She's I find her to be so frustrating as a character.
Wow, I don't find her that frustrating at all. In fact, the fact that her going back and forth like that totally makes sense because just because you're a strong female person doesn't mean you don't have feelings of love.
No, it's too heavy.
I buy that. I buy that.
No. My issue with that is it's so heavy. I find it very heavy-fisted. Like if there was something more subtle there, and they just had a casual relationship where they just this uncasual thing, and he just nods his head. No, there's something she's silently pining for him, and it's more subtle. Then I would be more with you, but it's too hammy. It's too ham-fisted. It's the same thing I have with Titanic. It's too I find those portions too melodramatic for its own good. If they had, I like subtle romance. I don't like bombastic romance. Never have.
Anyway, we agree. S for Lord of the Rings. Anyway.
Sorry to start the conversation about the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that might be
Lord of the Rings trilogy. I think is a solid A tier, but Lord of the Rings Fellowship S tier, 100%.
Wow. All right.
Alrighty.
Well, let's see. I mean, we want to put The Dark Knight up here somewhere. I mean, it's right there next. I mean,
I would have rather have had the Batman Begins instead.
Yeah, I think Batman Begins would have been a better choice. I say it's A tier.
I say it's A tier. At the top.
The way I see this one here is I don't think it's as good as Titanic, but again, I suppose that's my preference. But it's definitely better than Man of Steel. So do what you will there.
Yeah. I think
Titanic should go in front of Superman for sure. Then.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's solid A tier. It's top of the A tier, 100%. My issues with it, and I love The Dark Knight. I quote it endlessly.
It's easily the best Batman movie by far.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. The problem with it is, I think it's the second best Batman movie. Mask of the Phantasm is the best Batman movie.
I stand corrected. You're right.
Absolutely. The movie's fantastic.
Yeah, but that's another argument for another day. Right? That's also another tier list for another day. A Batman,
right?
Right. That would be
problem. My problem with this movie, and I think Mask of the Phantasm is S tier, 100%. That being said, I think Dark Knight has the Harvey Dent Two-Face problem. If Harvey Dent was in the film, no issue. The problem is they shoehorned Two-Face in there because I feel like before Heath Ledger died, Christopher Nolan was going to be done with this after decided during pre-production he was going to be done with this after The Dark Knight. So he put his third idea for his third film, in the third movie. And I feel like it's just a waste of Two-Face. He should have had his own film. He should have been the focus of the transformation between Harvey Dent to Two-Face should have been its own film. He should have been a focus of his own film. I also think that that's my main problem with it is you have two stories that are kind of in one in there. That's my main issue with it.
Yeah, for me personally, I actually like Batman Begins actually better than The Dark Knight. Me personally, I just like seeing the origin, seeing how he trains, seeing all that stuff. But
my problem with Batman Begins is Katie Holmes is Rachel Dawes.
Yeah.
I also think Ra's al Ghul should have been saved for the third movie. I think they made that reveal should have been saved. I truly think Scarecrow should have been the villain of that movie. After you leave the League of Shadows, the villain of the Gotham stuff should 100% should have been Scarecrow, and then you save Ra's al Ghul for number 3. That he's alive and he's well and he's out to get Batman back. He's out to get Batman back for destroying his home. 100%. I'm sorry. I'd hate to turn this into the Dark Knight Rises conversation, but Bane, I like Bane.
No.
We didn't really need Bane. We could have had Ra's al Ghul. We could have even had Harvey Dent's character for the third movie.
Yeah, 100%. I would have taken Ra's al Ghul. I would have taken Ra's al Ghul or Harvey Dent over Bane and Talia al Ghul. 100%.
Yep, I would agree. But I think we agree though. A
tier at least
for the Dark Knight. So I threw in
Wonder Woman. Let's go there.
The TV show. So yeah,
and all right, this one here, I thought it's a really good film.
I think it's solid B tier.
The third act lets it down majorly.
Third act ruined.
Yeah, third act.
I would agree.
David being revealed as Ares and then being turning him into a CGI character just because I feel like they were going something completely different with his character.
Yeah. No, that would have been better if he was a CGI character.
What?
Totally would have been better. The fact that they gave David Thewlis, you saw his eyes and that mustache.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you just ruined Ares.
Yeah.
100% ruined it.
No, to me, what it should seem like they were going for something a lot, even, and I think she's even, the director has even said as much. She said she was going for something a lot smaller in that third act. It was going to be revealed that he's been Ares the whole time. It was going to be more of a conversation, smaller conversation, talk that they were going to have between each other and them and ideals or something along those lines. And I feel like that would have been that's where she was going. That's what she wanted to do. And I 100% think that would have been a better third act than the third act that they gave us.
Well, that's Warner Brothers. That's Warner Brothers' problem. They wanted that to be at the end. They wanted to cut out the best scene that was in this film, which was when she was running across no man's land. Warner Brothers wanted that cut.
I'm glad they did.
That's the best scene in the film. Mm-hmm. Best scene in the film, and B is probably looking at the list that we have there so far. That's probably the perfect place for it.
It's a good place.
Yeah, it's a good place. Yep. I agree.
Yeah, for me, when they had Ares become a CGI character, that kind of took me out of the movie because I was on board with what his character was, and then all of a sudden he became something else, and I'm like, who is this? Is this like the same character, or like, I don't know? It just seemed really off to me, but that's just me. But
by the way, I want to say the correct name is Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins was the director because I feel like she deserves respect, and I was just blanking on the name, so I just said director. But it's amazing.
All right.
But yeah,
Okay.
Amazing director. And I can't wait for her Rogue Squadron film. Okay.
Of course.
So this next one that we have here is actually the movie Straw Dogs. I don't know if any of you guys have.
I have never seen
it.
I've seen Straw Dogs. It's
a very disturbing movie to me. I mean,
the Justin Timberlake one. It's it's actually not a bad movie.
It's like pretty dark. There's like multiple rape scenes, and there's like these guys terrorizing this like small town kind of thing. I only watched it once, and like, remember that I was on a date.
Misplaced movies. Was this the one with Justin Timberlake as the?
No, this had James Marsden. He was like the main, and then the girl I was on a date with was like really disturbed and.
I'm thinking of something else.
That kind of ruined our date. Like she wanted to go home. She's like, that was really disturbing. Too much rapiness, and
I haven't seen this.
And really dark. So I mean, I didn't really love it. I would honestly probably put it an F. I mean, I didn't love it, but does anyone else
can't give an opinion here?
I haven't seen it.
I'm mistaken something else, so no, I don't care. Wherever you want.
I don't care wherever you want to throw it. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't really like the first one either. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the original. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is Yours, Mine, and Ours. This is like the kind of like the almost like Cheaper by the Dozen kind of Dennis Quaid. I'm not big on it, but it's kind of
it's not my cup of tea. I think it.
Actually, like the original better. Like I saw the original, and the original is actually fun. This one is
I don't know. This is kind of harmless, and for me, when it comes to family films, Dennis Quaid can do no harm.
Right, it's Dennis Quaid.
It's Dennis Quaid, so I'm fine with it. It's a middle of the tier. It's not bad. It's not good.
Right,
it's something you would watch with your family. I have kids. Mm-hmm. I'd watch it with my kids, and we like it. Do we rewatch it?
It's not bad. It's not my cup of tea. That's so I'm you want to put it in the middle.
It's middle of the road because there's nothing else to it, and that's okay.
I'd say that's a solid like D tier. I mean, I'd put it there.
Yeah, I think solid
D. Right?
Yeah, that sounds right. But if you guys have any that like stand out to you,
that remake is a pile of garbage.
Yes, that's on here somewhere. Let me see.
It had a. It's no. It's no. It's no Kevin Squeezy at Red Dawn.
No, the original is way better.
The original was way better, but like
I enjoyed it though. I didn't think it was terrible.
Hemsworth in it, and I liked Josh Peck.
Yeah,
I think it's solid. I think it falls apart in its third act when they decide to go big in the third act. That's the problem with it. It probably should have stayed smaller. Instead, it went big finale. Big explosion finale.
Just so awesome. I think it's down there next to Time Machine.
Yeah.
Behind Time Machine.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, and how far that it falls from the original too. That's what kind of makes me want to rank it.
It's not the original Red Dawn. It's not. It's just.
Well, then let's throw it down to F because I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay.
I would keep it at E. I would keep it at E. I like 2 acts of this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
it's 2 acts, but then the third act, it really just,
Yeah,
Okay, I'm fine with meeting in the middle. We can leave it behind Time Machine.
I have two here that we can kind of discuss at the same time. One I think belongs maybe between S and B, and the other I think goes straight down to the bottom, probably below the Shaggy Dog. That's Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 8.
Oh,
Ocean's 8 is Travis. Do you have a film?
Oh,
absolute Travis. Do you have a film?
Yeah, Ocean's
11 is one.
You're hurting me right there with that words. I'm a huge
I would agree. Ocean's 8 was bad. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's all the way down. I mean,
horrible.
It's not horrible. No, horrible. No.
It's a travesty to cinema.
Oh, I'd put it in like
it's not horrible.
Oh,
it's
That's where I'm gonna put it.
If Red Dawn is E tier, so is Ocean's 8.
Okay,
Yeah,
here. Look,
I would agree.
I want to kind of go with that at reverse. Then Ocean's 11.
No.
I enjoy
Final
the Ocean's franchise overall. 11, 12, 13.
I did.
I do. I love them.
I did until the final movie. The final movie sucked.
I
What
really.
they did with it.
Oh man,
I didn't like the second
I love
one.
watching Al Pacino get his.
Ocean-
I love that whole thing.
Ocean's 12 was the one that got like super meta and was just like I don't really like
Yeah,
that.
the Julia Roberts thing. Now,
Yeah.
Ocean's 8. While it does, I will admit,
I know
it
it's here.
lacks some of the charm that the Ocean's 11 has. I still like I like the overall heist. I like the heist. I like the chemistry between the women. The only person in there that was odd was Helena Bonham Carter to me. She was kind of the odd one out to me.
Oh, yeah, she was weird in there, yes.
Other than that, I really liked it. Anne Hathaway kind of turning it on everything.
Oh, here it is.
Like, I loved it.
I knew it was here.
I don't think it's a bad film in any way. Is it as good as Ocean's 11?
I think it's like if we put Red Dawn in year 2, I feel about the same about Ocean's 8 as I do about Red Dawn.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, it's not on here, but the one that actually surprised me, I'm just going to say really sacrilegious because I love this original movie, is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. The original Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is really solid.
No, not
just for shits and giggles. I decided to watch the remake on Amazon.
I can't go with you on that one. But I do want to talk about Father of the Bride, another film I think.
Well, what was the other?
Oh, there's Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 11 first, I guess.
We're back to these ones. I think that's a spot for Ocean's 8.
Yeah.
Where's Ocean's 11? Where's Ocean's 8?
I'd say
Ocean's 11 is better than Wonder Woman.
Better than Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I put it B tier.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Yeah, that's probably good. For
8, I'll admit it's not as
my
good.
My opinion is better than Man of Steel, but
yeah.
I would move 8
down. I think it's better, huh?
B tier, but I think
I do think it's better than Man of Steel. It's one of those movies that I can watch again.
I don't think so. No, like
it's on.
I love Man of Steel. Like I would not put Ocean's 11 above Man of Steel. Like I just think that.
But would you? But I mean,
movie,
is it something like, can you sit down and watch Man of Steel again and again? In other words, if it's on TV, are you going to sit down and watch it? Versus
over and over.
Ocean's 11's on, you're going to sit down and watch that.
Genuinely, in my opinion, Ocean's 11 is S, but that's my opinion.
To me, I don't go back to Ocean's 11 as much as I go back to Man of Steel.
No, I mean,
I actually agree with you on S tier.
It's as far a heist film as you're gonna ever get. You really will.
It's such a fun movie, and the cast is.
We could split the difference and just give it an A tier. But
I would give it. I would be okay with it on A. Absolutely.
I don't think
A is fine. A is fine. I'd go with that.
Above the Dark Knight.
Yes, above the Dark Knight. Top of it. Very top of it. Very top of it.
All right.
I don't know.
So
I'll give you that. But yeah.
So can we hit a really bad horror film that I see on this list down here?
Yeah.
The Psycho remake.
Yeah, that.
Yes.
It is here.
That's G. Yeah. That's bottom of G. Does it belong on G? It belongs on Z.
Yeah.
That was like a shot-for-shot remake. Is that what I'm thinking?
That literally is. There's no. Yeah, that one absolutely 100%.
Shot-for-shot.
It's not good, but
yeah, I'd put it at the bottom.
Vince Vaughn wasn't a bad Norman Bates. It's just.
But he brings nothing else to it.
Yeah, I agree.
There is absolutely nothing new to it to make me go, why don't I just watch the original?
Right.
It was better.
Good.
I'm in a weird category where I saw this Psycho before I saw the original Psycho, but I agree it's not good. It's just I just wanted to make that comment. I agree it's G tier. I don't think Vince Vaughn was a bad choice for Norman Bates.
No.
I want to talk about Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So
yeah, it's
that is.
Yeah, let's
somewhere
down a little bit.
I can't show you.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see if I can do this.
Here we go.
I want to talk about Little Shop of Horrors. I consider this. It's one of my. I watch this film multiple times a year.
That's so awesome.
I've actually never seen
such an awesome figure.
I have the whole set right here behind the computer.
To me, this film is 100% S tier. It's 100% S tier.
It is an S tier.
No,
it's on my blind spot. I've never seen it, so it's
not S tier. No way. Now I love this film. I adore this film. It is not an S tier film in any way. It's a B movie on purpose. It is what it is. It's a B movie musical. Frank Oz.
I disagree with this wholeheartedly. I think it's an homage to the B movie.
So much fun.
I think it elevates it to like so much more. I think Rick Moranis is Seaborn Crowborn is amazing. Yeah. I think the dentist I sing constantly is when I'm by myself. Audrey 2 was an amazing cast. The voice of that was an amazing casting choice. Everything about this movie, I love. John Candy is the I could just go on and on and on about this movie, about why I think it's perfect, and especially with the director's cut that came out like a couple of years ago, just makes it to the next level. Where
this is why I knew you were going to say that. Okay, here's the thing. I grew up with this film. I've watched this film many times. I've done the play on stage. Here's the thing. This film is such a cry different from its source material, and even if we're talking about a remake
in a good way.
I love this film, but it removes the darkness and makes it more of a dark.
But I am not. I'm not from this here. It's to me. I go back to this film. I go to this film back more than I go back to Ocean's 11. I go back to this film more than I go to The Dark Knight. I go back to this film more than I go back to Man of Steel. I see this film several times a year.
But I would sit this as a high B tier. I would sit this at a high B tier.
I did not realize the original source material was so much darker. Yeah,
above Wonder Woman.
Above Wonder Woman, yeah.
This is breaking my heart. Yeah, this is breaking my heart.
I do have one here that I think should go straight to the S tier, and it's. Okay. I don't know if everyone else agrees. Rise of Planet of the Apes.
No.
Oh.
I think that started. I think this film started the best trilogy.
I think it's A tier. I think it's A tier. I think War of the Planet of the Apes was on here, or Dawn was on here. There would be more of an argument for
fair enough.
For S tier, but I don't think.
I'd be happy with A. I'd be happy with A there then.
Yeah,
but I
should go in A.
Here's
Titanic.
I've never been a huge fan of the Planet of the Apes movies. Honestly,
Planet of the Apes film.
Overrated.
Not one single Planet of the Apes film done after the original has had the same impact, especially that ending.
The ending.
No film has been able to do what it does.
That's because everyone knew it.
The new ones, they just do their own thing, which is fine. They do their own thing. They ruined
the ending with the Mark Wahlberg one.
I think this film very smartly, instead of I feel like a lot of films with the remake, the Tim Burton remake, they just tried to outdid the crazy ending, and that just didn't work. This one very smartly decided to focus on character, and this trilogy in general decided to focus on character, and it was all the better for it. They're not trying to outdo it. And I think by not trying to outdo it and let it be its own thing, I think, as I said, I think it's solid A. I think it's A tier. Definitely A tier.
I mean, I'll go with A.
I'm not a huge fan. I think it's kind of overrated, but I'd be all right putting it high because I can see why people really like and have a strong case. But
if Dawn was on here or War, I think you have more of an argument for S.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, and I'll accept that.
Would you put it above The Dark Knight or Ocean's 11?
In my opinion, it's above Dark Knight.
Definitely better above 11.
It's better from Dark Knight. Yeah. It's there's some minor,
not above Ocean's 11.
Minor miscast, but it's not. It's It's not the same kind of structural thing that like The Dark Knight has, in my opinion.
Right.
Trying to look through our list and find one that we can go, yes, that's an S tier, no question.
I think there's one.
I was looking,
down a
I was
bit.
looking possibly at True Grit.
Father of the Bride, I think, is S tier. I would consider Father of the Bride S tier.
I hate True Grit.
I am sorry that you're allergic to good movies.
No.
I think Father of the Bride is S tier.
You can't beat John
Father of the Bride is not S tier. No way.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that movie. Yeah,
I hate the whoever those assholes are that made True Grit.
Yeah,
really?
Really? I want to talk about something.
Yes.
Film? No.
The Coen Brothers.
What are you talking about?
The Coen Brothers should be in a grave together.
I want to talk about the Birdcage. The Birdcage may be S tier.
Oh man, you're just jumping here now at this point.
No, but
what about for S tier?
All agree on that's very terrible. Alice in Wonderland should be G tier, like should be bottom tier.
No, it's not.
No, the first.
Alice in Wonderland, 100%. Yes.
No.
Alice in Wonderland is bottom tier. That's
no, it is not bottom tier.
The second one, I'd agree. The first one was good. I enjoyed the first one.
I don't know. No, it's not good. It is not good.
I disagree with you 100%.
Where is
100?
It's not good.
Alice in Wonder. No, here's the thing about Alice in Wonderland. Okay,
it's not good. I'm sorry.
No, it is. No,
it has some solid acting, but it's not good.
No, everyone's complaint is, oh, the CG. Oh,
it's my issues not with the CG. It's literally just like what Tim
Burton did with that film was
terrible. It's terrible.
And I absolutely love it. Yes.
It's just Tim Burton doing his Tim Burton thing for 2 hours. I'm sorry, no.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong
with Tim Burton doing Tim Burton? Here's the thing. Okay, we know Alice in Wonderland. Hold on.
I
love Tim Burton. Too much Tim Burton is not good. Like when he's allowed to go full Tim Burton, it's not good. And Alice in Wonderland is straight Tim Burton. It's not good.
In all seriousness, we know the story of Alice in Wonderland. Obviously, we're looking at the base.
Yeah, and he saw it and he's like, I can do whatever the hell I want. No one will care.
What he did, first of all, going into this,
I'm blind.
Everyone thought this was 100% just going to be a remake and his version. What he did was do kind of a soft reboot sequel in a way.
I'm not seeing the original.
It's not good.
I've not seen it on here.
It's absolutely good. Yes.
He went full burden. You never go 100% full burden.
I might have left it off here because I don't see it.
No, you don't go 100% full burden.
I saw it earlier.
Every time you go full burden, it never ends well.
No, it never does.
Man.
Unless it's like Nightmare Before Christmas, even though he didn't technically direct it.
But that's not Tim Burton. That wasn't full Tim Burton. That even wasn't full Tim Burton. Henry Selick directed that film, so it's not full burden.
Yeah.
Did you guys remove Alice?
That's my point. You never go 100% burden. It doesn't work.
Did Alice get removed? Because I'm not seeing it now, and I saw it earlier.
No, it's on G there.
Yeah.
Where do we want it? It's better than Time Machine.
Better than Time Machine by far.
I think
it's not. It is not. It is not better than any of them. I disagree with this.
Way too low.
It is.
I'm happy there. I'm happy there. Yeah.
It's F tier. I'm sorry. It's F tier.
No, absolutely not.
It is F tier. It is not.
It is not F tier.
Ocean's 8 is better. I'm sorry.
The only one that's F tier is better. And I'll tell you what that F stands for.
It's F tier. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Were we watching the same movie? What the hell?
You don't go 100% Tim Burton. I'm sorry.
Why don't you go? Why not? Tell me why not.
Why is it not good? Johnny Depp is just. I'm sorry, Johnny Depp is bad. He's just. Johnny Depp is bad. I'll give you Mia Wasikowska as Alice, and I'll give you Alan Rickman as the Caterpillar. They're fine, but he's way too weird. Helen Bonham Carter is going like full cheese, and I'm like, no, No,
Wonderland.
I'm sorry. It's like he has like a weird fetish, and I'm sorry. I'm not.
That's the point of Alice in Wonderland. It is supposed to be.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's bad. I'm not. I'm sorry. It's bad. I'm sorry. I can't go with
it. It's not a bad film at all. Now, again, I think we're all in agreement. The sequel was horrible.
Yes,
I don't.
sequel was garbage.
But this film was way better than that. Here's the thing. I went into the movie.
I've always hated Alice in Wonderland.
And when it ended, I went, "It's over." I was enjoying myself all the way through this thing. You know, you had again. I love the cast. Christopher Lee is the Jabberwocky. Yes, please, more of that. You know, Crispin Glover plays Creepy Thin Man all the time, and he works here as the Jack of Knaves. I'm fine with that.
To me, it's just too.
It was a
It's too Helen Martin Carter focused and too Johnny Depp focused, and I think they just ruined the movie. And he's going full burden, and that's not a good thing.
This is the problem that we have with film today is that the idea of doing a nonsense film, which Alice in Wonderland, the books are nonsense. They don't know what they're supposed to be.
I prefer the Alice in Wonderland.
It's nonsense.
It's nowhere good.
A film like that these days, you have to have a storyline and an effort. And Tim Burton takes all of that, makes
kind of made it.
I love that.
No, I think
all right.
He made it structural. I don't think that makes it good. I don't think that makes it solid, and I don't.
You want to put it in D tier?
The tone is just way too.
I'm going to put it in my B tier, and we'll go talking later. I'll just
put a B tier.
You want it in B tier? I'm fine with that, but it's not D tier.
I'm okay with putting in B tier, actually.
Yeah, same here. I think that's a good compromise.
Who wants to vote for B tier? Where are you from?
I think D is the perfect place for it.
E, 100%. E. It's right between the D and the F that we were saying.
After I get home from church, I'm going to watch this film and feel better.
I think E is perfect.
I thought we were going to be.
I was having a look through the list.
I did not think Alice in Wonderland was going to be the one that set us up.
So, having a look through the list there to try and find if there's another S there.
The mechanic.
There's only three really there that I can see that I would say
the mechanic. That's pretty good.
And that would that would probably be either Scarface, The Departed, or
Scarface is absolutely S tier.
Yes. It's not S tier. It's A tier. It's not S tier.
Okay.
What?
I have a reason why for this.
All right.
I have a reason why for this.
Solid.
I have a reason why for this where I don't consider it at A tier. I think 2/3 of this movie is fantastic. Even part of the climax, I think, is amazing. His death.
They're all near the bottom.
You're right. Death. Him getting shot in the back is just.
I know I got the Departed here.
It just.
Ooh, love The Departed.
Thematically, love. If it works, it lands like a pump for me.
Like literally the top of the S tier. Like there's no.
And then Scarface is on here. I know. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we'll go Scarface first.
Scarface, The Departed.
To me, it's A tier. I love Scarface, but his death.
I would say A tier. Yeah, they're just
S.
S. For me, it's just like way too over the top.
So, all right, hold on.
So many scenes,
where are you guys wanting to go?
Like, I love the chainsaw shower scene.
A tier.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot. It said I love about 95% of this movie.
Here's what I want to do.
I'll settle for A tier for Scarface.
I'll settle for A tier. I'm okay with that.
Hold on, Scarface.
If you guys are okay with the violence, because I like the violence.
No, Scarface as the film is great. I think this is a great spot for one reason and one reason only, and it's that Pacino is a little bit over the top in the Cuban characterization.
Yeah, that's what I think. I agree with that.
That brings it down just that smidge.
Yep, that smidge.
To me, actually that works for the character. So I didn't have the issue with the overacting of that movie. To me, it's 100% the death. It's just the Scarface is supposed to be about the legend of Tony Montana. And the way that he goes out, like him being shot in the back at the end, just after all, like he had this great climax and him like shooting everybody, like the smithereens just going half crazy. Even if that works thematically, it just doesn't work with like what they were building up to with the rest of the story. The story was building up to this blaze of glory, and it just to me always went like a thud.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for me,
everything else about the movie, I 100% agree. It is an amazing movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't put it that.
For me, I could put it in the S tier just because, like, looking at what we have left on here, I don't know what else is really going to make it.
I think there is. The Thing, I think, would be S tier.
The Departed, I would agree with you 100%. Departed.
Yeah, The Departed.
The Departed is S tier. I would consider The Departed S tier.
Yeah, I would consider it S tier too.
Possibly, as I was saying there, possibly it could possibly go to S tier as well.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yes.
The first
so
one,
much better than the original.
Not part two. Not part two.
So
part
no, but here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with putting. Here's the problem with putting it chapter one at A tier, or I mean S tier. It's only half of the story. So yes, it was a great. It was a great. It's similar to Man of Steel.
Other films
I have Man of Steel. It chapter one.
Phenomenal film. Phenomenal. I never go see horror films in the theater. I went and saw this one in the theater and adored it. I was eating up, and I read this. This was the first Stephen King book I ever read, and I felt like I was right there in the book.
Yes.
Yeah. Same.
Yes. It's chapter one.
And it is far better than the TV movie.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Better. I have no problem with it being S tier.
It's far better.
No problem.
No. My problem with putting it in the S tier is it's still only half of the movie. So, and I'm sorry, it's half of the book.
So
it's true, but we haven't rated any other film on their sequels.
If they filmed no other sequels, this is a solid A tier. It's S tier, 100%. The problem is they filmed part two. It happened.
You have to ignore it.
But we didn't grade Ocean's 11 on Ocean's 12 and 13 because they're not as good.
You guys
grade.
I
told you. I didn't grade Lord of the Rings on the two sequels.
Other Bond films, we could have brought that down heavily.
But we considered that for Man of Steel.
Yeah, like Quantum Solace, the worst movie ever made. Yeah,
I want to put it at the end of S tier. That's what I.
Well, then, if we considered it for Man of Steel, maybe Man of Steel should move down to B.
Oh.
Yeah, we considered it for Man of Steel. It has to move up to B because if we considered it for 100% considered it for Man of Steel, that BVS brought it down. So if
then Man of Steel should be in front of the B.
Yeah.
No, it should be A because if we get for Man of Steel and that prevented it from being an S, then.
I know.
If I were to give this like a grade, it's like an A minus. It's a great film. It has some problems, but I think it's like an A minus film.
Yep.
Okay. There's no,
and I think it is an A minus film. I think
it's such a scary ass movie and so good.
No, it's so good.
They did such a good job dealing with the book. And
I'm not denying any of that.
Actors are synonymously bad.
I think it's
Skarsgård as
they were great.
No. I'm not disagreeing with you with any of that. I think it's a bit too long. I think. Let's see. I think the bully elements of this are just cheesy AF, and the guy that they cast as the bully, I didn't like. Like I
like as big, but I still say S.
To me, those two things make it a solid A minus movie, A plus, A minus. For me,
disagree. I felt like I was right there with them the way they filmed this.
No,
I agree.
I agree with all that. I'm just telling you, it's a little
the book brought to life pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it. That makes it A for me. That doesn't make it.
They even included some of the weird taboo stuff
hold on.
that's in the book.
By a show of hands, I am just curious. Who does feel it's S? Like, without question. 4 or 3 of us think it's S. 2 of you think it's A.
4.
So we're gonna leave it at S.
Yeah. There's one that's not on here that I know I had talked about was the Star Trek reboot, the 2009 Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
that wouldn't be S to me. Wouldn't be S.
Man,
didn't get added, which I should have added it. But
it's not S. It's not
that
S.
was the Star Trek film
didn't make it.
we were needing forever.
Yeah, I agree. In my mind, like
no, it's not.
it was what made me kind of fall in love with Star Trek over here.
It did
Nero
such a
is
good
a
job
forgettable villain.
of not
and-
alienating the fans and not alienating the new people. It brought
But that
everybody
doesn't make
together.
that
It
doesn't
gave
make
you
it. That
action.
doesn't make
You
it S
understood
tier
the
because
character,
it
what
doesn't
was
make
going
it S tier.
on, and if you
Yeah,
were
I don't think it'd be S tier.
fan,
I'd
it
say it's
brought
like a
that
solid
It,
B.
it's solid A.
No.
You went a B tier for me.
Solid S. No question.
No, it's not S.
Yes,
Nero is
yes.
it's not a good villain. Nero is not a good villain. They kind of the
You don't go
Spock and
with
Kirk.
Star Trek for the villain.
Spock
You
and
don't
Kirk
go
stuff
to
that-
Star Trek for the
like
villain.
Spock and Kirk
No.
stuff doesn't. It feels forced at times. I'm sorry.
cared
It's not
about
A tier.
Did anybody care
It's
about
not S tier. It's A tier. I
It's-
watched
Well,
Star Trek
Nope.
2009. It's A
I
tier.
forgot to add it, so we're
It's
not gonna go
S.
to rank it
So I
anyway.
guess you can't talk about
It's
Yeah.
A.
Yeah.
You guys
We
are
still-
like you guys have like
we still
nostalgic
talk about
Star
it,
Trek
but-
glasses.
but
I'm
we can't
sorry.
rank it.
I have no problem telling you I have Star Trek glasses, sir. No issue telling you that.
That's amazing.
Nice. But one that's gonna throw up
So
a few here.
Poltergeist, the remake is a piece of shit.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nope.
Where's Poltergeist? Yeah, that.
guys. Yeah. bad.
Yeah. I'd
The
say that.
original Poltergeist is scary
bad.
as hell.
Oh, when
I
you
think it's
said
bad,
remake
like-
was a piece of shit, I thought you were talking about RoboCop.
No.
Yes,
RoboCop,
yes.
Same problem.
RoboCop is another shitty remake. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The cast is-
Although I would
Can
rather
we
watch
talk about
Robo-
Taxi? Can we
I
talk
would
about
wa-
Taxi
rather
for a
watch
second?
Robo-
Ew,
Right here.
Taxi is gross.
It
Hold on,
should
so I
be G.
think-
Yeah.
Here,
Let's just get this out of the way. Taxi was definitely G.
Hold on.
I think we
RoboCop.
agree on the Poltergeist that it's
Yeah,
a G tier because
bad.
the effects
Yeah.
are bad. Even the props they use are using like
I-
plastic looking skeletons. That
Same
were
as RoboCop.
I would
Yes.
argue
RoboCop is G.
no RoboCop.
The
But-
RoboCop is not G. It's
Right,
not a
RoboCop
G.
is F.
I'm
No,
gonna stop
I
you
don't
right
like
there.
RoboCop G. Like I would put it at least like an E. Like,
It's
actually,
not-
like RoboCop
No.
better than Ocean's 8. I mean, that's
There
just
are
me.
two acts. Michael Keaton. It's not F. It's
No.
E or G.
The original trilogy,
no
the
way.
original movie.
No
is
way did it go
amazing.
that high.
It's
No
E
way.
or G. It's E. It's E or it's
The
E or G.
original
100%.
movie.
Gary
Talking about the
Oldman,
original
yeah,
movie.
Film are solid. Michael
I mean,
Keaton
that-
as the villain is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
The-
You know
some of
what?
the
If you
character
want a
stuff
movie
is
with a lower
solid.
E, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with a lower E.
It's
I think lower
lower,
E.
I'm fine with
It's
lower E, but
behind
it's not-
Omen
it's-
for me.
It's not as
good.
bad as people. I think a lot of people, because RoboCop the original is so amazing, they think instantly, well, this is
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
this is terrible. It's not. It's
I didn't.
can't.
I didn't see the.
forgettable,
I didn't see the
but,
original
you know,
until after I
not
So
saw
I
bad
that.
have seen the
time.
originals.
Wow.
I actually just got the collection on Blu-ray, the original collection. I mean, like we have that amazing scene where the AI defense robot goes bonkers and blows the guy away. It's amazing.
There are
Yeah.
there are like Joel Kinnaman is a miscast. I'll give you that, but some of the stuff going
Yeah,
the fan route, I don't think was a bad choice. It said some of the character things are not bad. Michael Keaton's really good. His
You have Gary
performance
Oldman.
was a
You
solid.
have Samuel,
scene.
you have Samuel
It's-
Jackson in there for a
It's
minute.
just forgettable. It's like in the same way that Red Dawn and Ocean's 8 is kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
I think it's lower E.
F.
I think a lower E. That's what I said.
I would low E. I'm okay with low E.
Okay, well, I
think
guess
that's good.
I'm odd man out, so let's leave it in E.
But you want to talk about
Because
Taxi?
the
Is it?
RoboCop is so
About
the original RoboCop is so good, it's never going to compare. Taxi's G. What's this?
Yeah, I would say G too. I'd put it
G.
like
How about taking of Pelham
At
1,
the
2,
top of
3?
G,
yeah, maybe at the top. I don't know. It's
I
mean,
would
it could
watch
go
it
it could
over
go
Jack
anywhere.
Dog. I'd watch
Yeah.
it over Jack Dog, no question.
This is
Yeah,
so
same.
Oh,
put it
absolutely.
at the top of G.
Yes.
Fine. It's the film
I'd
that
say
Jimmy
so.
Fallon even jokes about.
Yeah,
about
right.
Robin Williams on the bus. I mean, like, I want to talk about the taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 because I actually think that's not as bad as people give it credit.
Sorry, lads. Before we jump into this, I'm gonna have to jump off this.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Thanks for
this could be our last.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna kind of end this at 2 hours, anyways.
Yeah. So
about that mark.
Yeah. Perfect. Sorry, I do need to jump off. I've really enjoyed the conversation.
Right, buddy.
It's been a great time. I thought we did great list there. I might be able to jump off the next one. Okay.
Thank you very much, Carl.
You want to promote real quick before you jump off or anything?
If you want to follow me there on Twitter or on Letterboxd, it's at Carl Sherlock on Twitter, or Letterboxd is Sherlock91.
Okay.
All right. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks
Thank
again.
you very much,
Thank
Carl.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Like.
All right.
I think this is maybe I would put taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3 in C.
I would put it in C too. I really enjoyed it.
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. John Travolta gives a really good performance in there, and I kind of like him and Denzel Washington's relationship.
Oh yeah, that chemistry is awesome.
Okay, maybe because it's my bias against Beauty and the Beast and the third act of War of the Worlds, I think it's a little more B. I think it's a lower B.
I would put it in lower B.
Yeah.
I would put it in lower B 100%.
I would too.
I would watch it
above Little Shop of Horrors.
I may be in the minority here. I like this better than the original Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Like to me, I find
the original's kind of boring.
Yeah, it's kind of boring, and like the detective guy played by the comedian, I don't really like. Really, I think
I actually agree. Yeah.
So now, would you put it above Little Shop of Horrors?
No,
I don't know.
No,
maybe
no.
No, and here's the thing: like Wonder Woman, the first 2 acts, if that's all we've got, I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah,
I don't.
Wonder Woman is better than.
Yeah, I don't think it could beat the first 2 acts of Wonder Woman. I just don't.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Here's the thing: the first 2 acts of Wonder Woman are so amazing; they make up for the lackluster third act.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They do.
All right.
So, do we have one more film we want to?
One more.
Let's see. Oh, The Departed. Did we ever put that on there? Never mind.
We
put that up in
S.
Yeah, we put it in S.
Absolutely, yes.
I like. Maybe.
One thing.
Or whatever.
Oh yes.
Lady Killers is dumb as hell.
Oh yeah.
I like Lady Killers, but I'm a little.
I didn't like it.
On it.
What about Freaky Friday? I don't mind Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday's interesting.
I actually don't mind it.
I showed this to my 13-year-old.
Here.
And she, first of all, she didn't know there was an original. She still doesn't to this day. She argues that.
Original's good. I actually do like the original.
But no, this is what I call the end of Lindsay Lohan as we knew her.
Yes.
And this is good. Like the chemistry.
This is a very good. It's a very solid movie.
Well. It is a solid Disney film.
And of course, I love what's her name? The mom. I can't think of her damn name.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Yes, Jamie Lee Curtis is just like.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is absolutely amazing.
They play each other really well.
I would put this solid lower B tier even. I don't.
I would put it in solid B tier.
Yeah.
It's lower. It's not. It's better than the whole.
I would probably watch it if it was on TV more over Pendulum 1, 2, 3.
Okay. I'm with that.
Just because I think it's fun. It's one of those movies you can turn on. You don't have to be it's one of those movies you can kind of enjoy. You're not, but it's definitely not better than Wonder Woman.
Part here, guys.
Seriously, why can't we put Alice in Wonderland in E? I'm just saying.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. I think that's a solid.
In between where I would put it and where you guys want to put it,
right. I think it's in a perfect spot. I would rank it right there. Honestly,
I would not. Leave it alone, please.
Leave it alone.
I don't want to go down that fight again.
I don't want to go down that either.
Yeah.
But based on how many we have left, we're definitely going to do a part 2. Borderline on a part 3. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
literally all 4 of part 3. Seriously,
I want to talk about
it. Had the Spotted or the Bride argument because I don't see anything wrong with that movie.
I don't either.
That's a solid movie.
Right, to me, that's an S tier.
It's not an S tier. No, you want an S that we haven't talked about yet? It's Dracula, but we'll get to that.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It is
Dracula's
not.
so good.
It's bad. It's not good. It's not bad, but it's not
you're
good.
thinking of Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein. That's
no. I'm thinking of Keanu Reeves's in Gary Oldman's Dracula. Keanu Reeves is not good in that movie. I'm sorry.
The thing about hold on.
Winona Ryder is good, and Gary Oldman is good. The opening act, because I watched this recently. Let's talk about this now since we're talking about it.
Let's go for it. Yeah,
might as well end on this.
Okay.
Like,
we're doing Dracula. Is that one?
Yes.
Yeah. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Right.
Yeah. To me, here's my. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm not. I think it's not even. It's not even maybe even a good movie, but. My problem with it is Keanu Reeves was just bad. After the opening scene with the prologue that takes place in the 1800s, I was all in. And throughout the movie, it just slowly loses me with its, we're focusing too much on Keanu Reeves, and I just don't care about him. Did you ever go back to Gary Oldman and what he's doing, and what Winona Ryder's doing, and even what Anthony Hopkins is doing is pretty solid. It's too far. They focus too much on Keanu. Keanu, if you're gonna make Keanu Reeves the focus, he's not. His accent is just totally distracting. I'm sorry.
It is, yeah.
It distracts.
It sounds like he's in a Bill and Ted movie still.
I don't think so.
Keanu Reeves is Keanu. Keanu Reeves is good at playing Keanu Reeves. He has an aura, and that the
John Wick are literally.
Keanu can't do accents.
He's an amazing actor, but I mean for Dracula,
it's a miscast. Here's the thing. To me, Keanu Reeves is good at doing he has a very particular set of skills. This role does not fit his particular set of skills.
No.
Here's the thing. It's young Keanu at the time. This is younger
Keanu.
This is one of the exceptions for me. Normally, I would say when one actor has a problem and is as prevalent as he is, pull it down. See Julia Roberts in Mary Riley. Ruins that entire film. This film does something to me, and I was so surprised by it, where even Keanu, which I clearly hear, and I clearly notice is a problem in this, I'm so engulfed by the atmosphere, by the music, by Gary Oldman, by everything else in this film, that it is a rare case where I go, all right, Keanu, you got lucky. You're surrounded by everything else that could possibly be right in this film. You got lucky.
Because you feel... Yeah, sorry.
And it's so atmospherically pulls me out every single time he's on screen. I get everything else is great in this film. To me, you have me everything. 100%. I agree with you. Keanu Reeves is just too. If they, cut his role by 50%, I maybe.
Let me ask you: have you ever read?
Yep, I would agree.
Did you ever read
every single scene?
But
Gary Oldman brings it up, Keanu brings it down. It's kind of like
JD. Did you ever read the book?
Yes, I read the book.
Okay. See, he other than the accent, which again, I will not question the accent.
Right,
is bad.
the accent's really loud.
The accent's bad. I get it. But he's point on for Harker. He is point on for what Harker is.
No. But the problem is the accent. See, that's where you guys.
That's a minor thing. That becomes a minor thing.
It does. I agree.
But to me, it pulled me out. That's the problem, guys. To me, it pulled me out. For you guys, it didn't pull you out as much. For me, that accent 100% pulled me out. And if there was any other actor,
right out.
I would be with you guys 100%.
I disagree.
100% that this is the best vampire movie, and I will lay it up. This is the best vampire movie. I will also argue B that for a novel adaptation,
I won't argue against it. But it's not. I'm not putting it in.
I'll be okay with the high B and low A.
I would say lower S. Because the issues you say are there, they exist.
Yeah, lower S.
No, it's B.
Really?
No, it's not.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know if it's better than Scarface or like Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Way too much for it to be an S tier. I draw the line at S tier.
Yeah,
I would argue B tier. I will settle for A tier. It is not.
Well, above the Planet of the Apes for sure. Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
I'm fine with that because I don't even like Planet of the Apes that much.
No,
I'm okay with that.
I would
This
put
film
it
was a
behind Planet of the
masterpiece
Apes.
for
I would
what
put it
it is.
behind Planet of the Apes, but that's me. I would put it behind Planet of the Apes.
Because the other thing that this film has to its advantage is its complexity. Most people would look at this and say, horror film. Well, kind of, but it's also a very gothic romance, a very tragic gothic romance.
No. Everything that you guys are saying, your arguments are solid. I agree with your arguments. But to me, Keanu Reeves, that accent pulls me out. It just does. And to me, that's if something
makes
is
it hard to even like get invested in the movie for me.
That doesn't make it an S tier for me. And it's it certainly doesn't make it an A tier. I'm going to settle for A tier because you guys are you seem to be very, very high on it than I am.
Very passionate.
But to me, the accent pulls me out way too much. I get it's a solid movie, but to me when the accent is just too distracting.
Oh, wow.
You think it's better than Scarface?
Here's what you do when he comes on screen. Just mute
we could put it there. I'm okay, but I'm not going to put it in
and then unmute him when he's not talking.
Yes, it's better. Yes, it's better than Scarface.
No, it's not better than Scarface.
Yes,
it is not better than Scarface.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
no, it's not.
I'm so on it. I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm not big on Scarface.
I would put it, but here's said something that pulls a bunch of people out as much as it does should not be at the top of A tier. I'm sorry. Scarface has very minor issues. As a movie overall, it works and there are just minor critiques. Dracula, there's a huge critique and it pulls a lot of people out in the movie. That doesn't make it a top of A tier for me. That puts it maybe middle of A tier and maybe possibly B tier, but I'm not going to win the B tier argument. So I would put it middle B tier. I've made a middle A tier. Excuse me. It's middle A tier.
I'd say under Scarface, maybe even under Ocean's 11. I don't know.
Yeah. It's middle. I'm fine with middle A tier.
No, okay. Look, if you want to say before or behind Scarface, fine. There is so much more character and so much more depth to this. Ocean's 11 is fun and enjoyable, and I love it.
Works better as a movie, and there's not something doesn't
so much better,
and it doesn't pull you out. Ocean 11 doesn't pull you out as much as Dracula.
Ocean's 11 is a nice cheesecake. You enjoy it. It's rich.
Right.
It's awesome. Dracula is a full-on meal.
Full-on meal is a classic Chianti.
Something that pulls
I'm gonna split either way.
think something that distracts as much as Dracula does, as opposed to, is you say a nice cheesecake. A nice cheesecake is still. I would still take a nice cheesecake over a distracting amuse bouche, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
So maybe I'm not catching his swine, but what the hell does amuse bouche mean?
He's trying to say amuse bouche.
Yeah, amuse
bouche. What does that mean?
It's a fancy dessert dish.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I would take a nice cheesecake over a amuse bouche.
I would too. So I think that's a solid spot for it. I would say just leave it there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, we can leave it there, guys. This has been so much fun. Seriously, I'm so glad you guys joined us.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do this again. We have so much more to do.
I thought Alice in Wonderland would cause.
Right.
I'm gonna go as soon as we're done. I'm gonna go to my wife and go, "Honey, you want to watch Alice in Wonderland?" Yes.
She's gonna be like, "Yes, we would."
Yes, she will.
And you're literally just gonna be like, "Guess what, all of you guys? I'm better than you." Sorry, I literally just flipped all our audience a middle finger. That was not unintention. I'm sorry, guys. It was a general gesture.
Oops.
I did not think
statement later released from the production staff.
Right?
Yeah,
Bye. Nice showing you guys.
Yeah.
So, Chris Igloo, you're
Chris.
now the second co-host of the show.
Yes!
Nope, not solo. Meant to X you from the screen for a second, but I'm not good with these controls.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
but anyways, that'll call it good for today. We'll probably be back probably roughly the same time. We'll announce it on social media, but
yeah, and we're going to be arguing some more.
But that was a lot of fun. There's going to be some more arguments ensuing. There's some more that could, I don't know, like these could go anywhere.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
I'm actually seeing
this is going to.
There's a lot of them that we can argue about.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this could go 4 to 5 parts easy, like based on what we have.
Right.
The thing about remakes is that they're just so prevalent, and there's so many that you can look at. So yeah.
Well, and so many of these, like I'm learning, like are remakes I didn't know, which is cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And by next week, I can add in the Star Trek movies I forgot to add, and we can talk about that. So,
yes.
I can't wait for this argument because I'm going to say now the two people here, at least 2 people here, are going through queer stars, are queerly Trekkies, and are watching it through Trekkie eyes because it's not as. I mean, I love the movie, but it's not as solid. It's not the S tier like they say it is.
If it was Next Generation, because I'm a diehard Next Generation fan, but beyond that, I don't.
I'm all Trek. I'm all in. All Trek all the time.
Star Trek's incredible.
And see, I'm more of a Star Wars guy, so
I love both. So I'm the weirdo that loves both. Okay.
I like Star
Trek. And that's
Trek,
a whole another discussion. Ranking the greatest Star Wars movies of all time.
Right.
I rank Star Wars and Star Trek together because that would be
fun.
Oh, that'd be like
no.
Yes, cross the streams. Cross the streams.
You can't cross the streams.
Nope.
You can't cross the streams.
Don't do it. We do have Marvel and DC against each other in here. So there's that.
Okay. You don't mix your Star Trek. I love both, but I don't mix them.
Nope. Right. Well, anyways, we'll wrap there. So yeah, we'll be back next week for some more arguing and stuff. So we'll just we'll go around the horn. So Chris Ingle, where can the people find you?
I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter at Single CINGLE 1984. I love to play games when I'm not, doing grown-up stuff. I hate doing grown-up stuff.
Right.
I hate doing grown-up stuff too.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Well, awesome. And then JD, where can the people find you?
Yeah, I'm also on Twitter at JD Domash. The J and the D are the J and the first D are both uppercase. The J and the 2 Ds are uppercase. And then also this Saturday, I'm going to be on General Debate on Action Industries, debating Red as the best DC film.
Awesome.
That movie's so good.
Yeah.
So you can see me. You can see me on. You can see me on Saturday on there debating Red.
All right. Awesome. And then Chris Scott or Casablanca Kid, where can we find you?
So Chris Scott or Casablanca Kid, and I really should know my handles by now since all of you guys have them memorized.
Actually, I have
we have a little
banner
thing for me.
It'll show us where you can find me and Chris because we're the 2 normal hosts here.
I don't know why there's 2 T's in there, but it's at writer_84, and also I'm on Instagram as well.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. And I have Facebook. Feel free to add me, of course.
Awesome. And you can find me. I don't really do a whole lot of Twitter and Instagram. I'm usually on Facebook. I'm at Jordan Anderson. Well, Facebook.com/Jordan Anderson21. And then you can find me all over the Movie Hero Network. We've got a couple other shows. We've got a show called Blind Spots where I have people vote on which movies from my blind spot that I've never seen that they think that we should watch. So me and Chris, actually, we're going to be reviewing the movie Onward coming up this week because I've never seen that movie. So we don't know exactly when it's going to be, but sometime
I love Onward. Onward's
Like mid.
I loved it.
Mid.
Oh,
Mid.
That was
mid
the
to the end of
last
the
movie
week,
I
probably.
saw in theaters.
Yep, before we all got hit by COVID. But and then also you can find me. I have a group that I run called Schmodown Friends and Family, and it's just a place where we definitely promote the movie trivia Schmodown, but also where anyone who's familiar with that community or people that want to learn about the community can come in and they can promote all their stuff. So if you have anything to promote, if you have a YouTube channel, if you have some kind of project that you're working on, it's a great place to just promote all that stuff. So
yeah, I was telling one of the members the other day. I'm like, he's like, hey, can I promote this thing? I'm like, it's okay, yeah, go for it. Because just at the end of the day, it's your group. Well, the idea is to create this group where everyone can share and promote their things. We can all get excited stuff people do.
Yep, we just support each other and build each other up. So yeah, it's a good place for that. But anyways, yeah. So
and I want to give a shout out really quick. I want to say, go Packers! Here's hoping we annihilate the Buccaneers today.
Today only. I'm a Packers fan.
Oh yeah, okay.
Unfortunately, I'm a Chargers fan, so yeah.
Okay.
Hey, y'all got a
Seahawks fan, so
be happy.
Yeah, you got a coach.
But our quarterback retired, so yeah.
True.
True. But yeah. So this has been the two Chris's, JD, Jordan, and this has been Tier Ranker Fights.